Halo guys, bersama aku bersama gaming dan assalamualaikum pada yang baru datang ke channel ni. Hari ni kita buat live stream first time. Live stream tournament Mobile Legend ni dekat YouTube. Jadi ni first time kita buat Mana guys?
The Venom.
MPL season
I don't know,
16.
for James,
last night,
yeah, for James it doesn't feel like the
Minggu
first
tambah
blood
hari kedua.
because like
Ni
he got a
first time
couple
ni.
of them yesterday. He died
Kita
first
buat live
blood,
stream.
I think twice.
Yeah.
But
Ni ada
he
komen-komen
was able to redeem himself eventually
ni?
every single time that match.
Yeah, I think even more so
If
now,
you want
dying
them
as
to
an
jungle
EXP laner
go,
early just seems to be part of the job.
One is good,
Ni
twice,
kasi nama
gotta
player.
think about it.
Nama player Philippines.
You're
Talk-
probably
we'll
on the
talk
road
later.
to 6 deaths, but then if you get that one good set, everyone's gonna forget it.
Why ada 28%?
And we're gonna talk about something else even further. I love this new segment, by the way. This is the How.
This was for
Welcome to The Howl. This is Wolf presenting you the Infinix keys to victory. It's AP Bren going up against Omega in the first series of today. For AP Bren, they have to watch out for Ryzen's jungle invasion. We saw yesterday in their first match
This squad
that
bi-
Ryzen
Biren
was
eh.
able to win the Battle of the
Biren
Gold
Filipina.
when it comes to farming because of his jungle invasion
Only
against his
PS,
opponents.
lawan
And even
TL,
when they
lawan
don't
Jika,
get the
this.
neutral objectives like the turtles, he still manages to win the gold battle just because of that.
Ni
So that's
Biren
something that AP
lawan-
Bren needs to stop.
Ano sabi
And
niya?
speaking
Omega.
of stop, they have to stop Omega's turtle to execution. We also saw yesterday how important the second turtle was for the side of Omega. Even when they don't actually get the
Oh,
turtle,
betul.
what
Biren
they
lawan Omega,
actually
guys.
win is the
Biren
battle
lawan
afterwards.
Omega.
So that's what they really need to pay attention
Kalau
to.
menurut
So
aku,
AP
yang
Bren will be
menang
able to secure the series.
siapa?
Now for Omega, they have to take advantage
ni
of
first
Super
time, guys.
Yoshi's
Kita buat live
catch
stream tournament.
playstyle. It is very clear yesterday that when Omega is playing, they really want to
Mungkin
utilize
Biren
the
rasa
catch
Biren
heroes for Super Yoshi, and they are actually more comfortable if that is the archetype of heroes that Super Yoshi is actually playing.
Apa ni?
And
Happy
most
Biren
importantly, they
guys.
have to
Nah,
control the
ni banyak
tempo.
komen ni guys.
Tempo
Happy
control
Biren lang
EXP laners will fit Omega's MO so well. What they need to do is to just get Lapu-Lapu, your Arlos, or any kind of
Lapu-Lapu.
EXP laner. Even the Phoebes can work as long as it controls the tempo of the game. That is going to be AP Bren versus Omega, and let's see. Let's find out in the draft who wins
Yeah.
the series.
Nampak ni screen dia.
And that was the Howl by Wolf. Cass? Should I say Wolf? Just Wolf.
Just Wolf.
Basically, it's a big revolution around Super Yoshi's catch
Yeah.
potential, which a little bit of a Mamba mentality maybe just kind of seeped into him a little bit. What do you think about that?
It feels like a little bit more Super
Diba?
Yoshi.
Tambah lagi satu ni.
Based on what we saw from him from game number one,
Window
I like that
picture.
he's not just seen as one specific thing. Yes, the keys of victory brought to us by Wolf did focus on his catch
Why
playstyle,
is,
but then you could also just have him play up a hero who just shows up, gets vision, and then that's already good. Because you already have someone like James to help cover for that. So a little bit more, I think, even though he won't get the catch playstyle type hero, as much as possible they should though,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so worried for Omega if Super Yoshi's just a little bit more passive, because James is already so proactive for him.
Yeah, like on a hero similar to the High Loss or
Yeah.
something. Because
yeah.
James fills in those shoes of being that aggressive, or as mentioned by the keys to victory again, tempo
Kejap, guys,
controller
guys.
type of XP laner so well, much to the point that even if it has to
Pakai
start in as
window
early as the
caption,
first
eh.
minute
Share
and
Google ni.
might cost him his life, it's gonna be all worth it in the end because they're still able to
Yung
establish
mobile
that certain
capture.
tempo, which I feel like all of them together have done such a great job at setting up for like the first few games they've played yesterday. Even though Haji has played, I think, 3 games of Farsa yesterday. I mean, that's the thing. Like the Farsa, it just does
Okay,
so
so-
much when you want to set that control,
Yes.
when you want to. And by the way, aside from control, I want to commend how much he's been such a hard target to catch
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
for
opponent
sure.
XP laner, despite being a Farsa. It's like he's just always so alert that his wings by wings come in at the right time. So that's another thing. Like
Okay.
Haji as the leader,
Okay.
as that kind of hero, just does so much for his team.
TikTok
That's
ba?
right. And on the other side, it's going to be Aqua. Don't forget, this is his comeback all the way
Window,
from
window,
across the
window.
seas. He was the MPL's Philippine Season 9 champion and MSC 2022 champion, which a lot of us do still maintain that, you know, could have been a really MVP performance, but
Yeah.
Evan was selected in that time.
Yeah, for Aqua, he's cut from the same cloth as Haji, honestly.
Hey, guys.
With how during the peak of Aqua and RSG, he was really known as that hard-to-catch mid laner, artillery, play around the Eve very well, play around Farsus very well. It was even during a time where you had heroes like Lilia, Kagura show up as options, the rare Kadita here and there. So that killer mentality that Haji has and that desire to stay alive while providing damage, Aqua has that too, and that's something that Omega needs to respect.
Oh, now you mentioned that. What if they actually decide to do that up against this Farsa that Taji might potentially bring out again later heading into the draft, which is actually happening right now. So I wonder how similar the trends are going to be compared to yesterday, because I feel like the trends in terms of the red side bans yesterday were always just so consistent on those first two heroes.
And I like what happened here with the first trade of picks. So, as we said earlier, James really can just be that frontliner and initiator for Omega. He did that incredibly well yesterday. But Omega was acknowledging the situation. Okay, we lose our Phoveus, but then at the same time, wait, banning out the Phoveus means that the 1-1 is a good option for AP Brent to rush. So they decide to ban that out for safety, even if they could have picked the Farsa into it. That's just how annoying 1-1 is right now. And so far, standard are the bans with the Juicin and YSS.
Conversations as well has been steered where the meta right now really is very similar to what we've seen in MSC. You guys noticed this as well yesterday. Although we haven't really seen as much of flexibility in the mid. Again, Farsa being picked up a lot.
Farsa Selena.
Selena, obviously. Kimmy can definitely make a resurgence here somewhere. We did see a game as well with Kimmy. But so far, nothing like. Again, no resurgence of older heroes, and that's why I love seeing Aqua here. Maybe with Aqua playing, we might be able to get an influx of newer picks to maybe spice things up a little bit.
Okay guys, game dah start. FPB Ren lawan Omega guys. Ni Philippines.
So far, but this should be a last hill of them.
Filipino.
Unless they want to give it to James
MPL.
Pax.
Season berapa bang? Season 16.
Nope. Still banning
Bang, lagi live bang. Iya, lagi live.
3 bans of the season so far.
Bang, udah makan belum? Dah.
Lapu, Farsa still open.
Ni dia lagi ban ni guys. Dia ban Phoveus sama
yesterday.
hero baru ni siapa tu? Nama
We only had 4 priority picks, Farsa, YSS, CC, and Baksha. So maybe this could be a Farsa rush or CC rush, one of the two.
Will be a great deny as well.
Ni siapa ni? Nama player dia Shizao.
But that's gonna be scary as well.
Ada
Forcing
ni guys
him
ya.
to use something else, but I
Arlan ni
think
dia.
this is a great answer nonetheless,
Okay,
because
Pitama, Arlan.
typically you'd feel a bit more hesitant to pick up the Farsa knowing that you're gonna go up against an Arlot. So
Yeah.
Ya guys, Zusin guys ya. Nama dia Dibeno. Hero Magic.
his escape. So
Seems like they're trying
Oh,
to
ni Filipina.
block
Filipina is this server. Hello from Indonesia. Hello.
And it
Hello,
also makes sense
Indonesia.
with the context of they
Chichi
also banned the
Olapo.
Phoveus earlier.
Yeah.
So if ever now
Kanako,
Omega's thinking,
Nurak,
wait, AP
Chichi
Brent
guys,
go for the Fredrin and Arlot combination later on.
Chichi Opi. Waduh, Paisa.
And they go for the Kalea. They are still
Kalea,
gonna
they pick.
keep to the idea of their key to victory with getting catch for Super Yoshi. So are
Ni
they still
Paisa,
gonna stick with the
Paisa,
Fred and
OP
Arlot
guys.
combination at the center of the
Sekarang
map?
dia Magic kan.
might be one of the better
Oh,
options to
damn,
go
it's so-
for, and they could also potentially pick up the.
Ni tinggal Aqua sama S16 ni guys ya.
Moskov a bit more.
Aqua,
Considering that
Snova.
Ryzen has showed us a couple of fannies yesterday, and once he gets the momentum rolling, it's gonna be really terrifying, especially for a marksman.
Okay, Moskov, dia pakai Shizao.
So they pick up the Moskov here
Oh,
and
Aqua
the
pick
Akai.
Akai.
That's definitely gonna discourage that.
Never
right?
mind, never mind.
My flag continues to grow, children.
Lapu-lapu,
The
guys.
Church of the
Nah,
Kai
dipakai
stands
tu.
strong, and we get
Sama
another
James.
representative. But Omega honestly picked into that very well. The
Bang,
Lapu might actually
lagi live
struggle
stream,
here,
bang.
but if
Yeah,
you
lagi
time
live
the
stream.
bravest fighter well enough, you could actually
TikTok,
avoid getting
YouTube
taken
ada
away
guys ya,
to a
lagi
really
live stream.
bad spot for your team or for yourself by the heavy spin of the Akai.
You can get really easily disrupted, especially since Lapu-Lapu is very reliant on combinations, like not continuous DPS for him to actually dish out. what
Cici
he
lagi
needs to do.
better. Ya, setuju,
Same
setuju.
time, again,
Sama-sama.
love the Akai right
Ada
here.
Cici tu,
Really
damage dia besar.
discourage so much. It can also
Tak masuk
really
akal
easily
ke damage
cancel
dia?
out the Feather Airstrike when needed.
Lepas tu nak stun pun susah. Cici.
I think
And then skill
yesterday
dua
I
dia
was using it and I
yang
kept
lompat-lompat
invading
tu.
the enemy. jungler.
Which one?
The Akai. But it
Kalau
was in the roam.
Cici
And now I feel like we
memang
are
harus
more
di-ban
likely to see it.
kalau main rank.
No, wait.
Oh wait, yes.
Is it?
We cannot also turn
Kalia
off the
Beatrice.
possibility of an Akai roam popping up here, considering that we did see that a little bit more.
Okay, Kimi di-ban sama Karina, guys.
Of EWC
Omega
and
ban
MVP.
Kimi.
Could be a possibility with the carry showing
Mungkin
up though. I feel like
Biren
it's already
ban
a
ni
little bit more of a
Karina,
very
Karina.
front-heavy tank focused
Carry,
lineup
carry.
for AP Brand, which is why they're taking away a shredder
This is
of
a work,
tanky
yes.
gold
Waduh,
lane
ini belum-
of
game
tanky
belum mulai dah
fighters and
sombong ya.
tanks. That means the gold lane for
Filipina
Omega
dah
might
mulai
just
sombong ya.
lean
Easy
towards
server
picking
katanya.
something alongside the Granger. They
Okay,
can just
kita
play
tengok.
for range, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, the Fredrin also just looking
Apakah
really...
AP Biren boleh menang guys lawan Omega?
My
Just
legacy
make a
shall
really nice
Endure.
endure.
lineup,
Ben?
go for Roma Kai and Fredrin jungle. Maybe
Oh
could
my
work.
goodness, that's the Fredrin Arlot, Akai Arlot together in one
Philippine
line.
is
Crazy, right? That would be so crazy.
That's annoying, honestly.
Omega,
Conceptually
Filipina
and
Indo
in
ni.
practice, that is very difficult to go up against,
Kalau
especially
Biren,
if you're a
Filipina.
Kalea and a Lapu-Lapu that want to get close to that action. You're actually putting yourself at risk more.
Filipino Indo na
They
ni.
didn't ban it out. They banned some mid-lane
Girl,
heroes instead.
Philippine
Some
lawan
heroes
Philippine.
for Aqua. So
Nice ban, Phil.
that still opens the possibility of maybe some of the other mid-lane heroes that Renmar did mention earlier,
Yeah.
maybe. But I don't know if they
Okay, sir.
really want to risk that because we haven't seen much Kaguras.
Soalnya kosong nggak?
See value in me?
More so for the Lilias, but it's
You
interesting
should.
that or it's an interesting ban that AP Brent took out the Fredrin themselves.
Yeah, I think
Kev,
Omega did
AP
definitely
Brand,
have a slot
dia
of
ban ni guys ya, Fredrin.
so that you'll have the Fredrin and Akai match up into the jungle.
Siapa
Now
yang
they've
ban?
run out of
It's
tanky
Nova, it's
junglers
Nova,
actually
guys.
that they can play with. The Baksha also gone. It's not like you're gonna bring back a Martis into the meta. They're trying to force
Ah,
Omega to play
ini
into
kebal
an
juga. Dia
assassin
fighter
jungle.
boleh,
That,
jungler
as
boleh.
we mentioned, with the lineup of maybe
Kebal.
Brent, could just go ahead and invade a lot. So
Roger,
they lock in
oh.
their gold laner instead.
Ah,
They pick up a
Beatrix.
Beatrix. You do still get that range.
Nampaknya
but
Omega
at the
pakai
same
Beatrix,
time,
guys.
you also
Ryzen.
get strong basic attacks, which is something that you need against a lineup that will most likely dive
Agak-agak
close
James
to you.
Yeah.
Pangka ni pakai siapa guys? James
Oh,
Pang
even the Hilda's
Pangka.
still there actually.
Dia jungler,
So,
jungler.
it's Smart Omega, they do seem
It's
like they're
Nova.
really saving their jungler for last because there are just
Apa
so
tu,
many
ah?
things to consider
Milena,
in AP
Milena.
Brent's
Nova
lineup so
Milena.
far. So this is where
Rizky
we'll probably
Golden.
find out, or this is where we'll definitely find out where the Akai is going.
Yeah.
But
It's James Path though, isn't
It
there?
is.
It's also a really good chance he might just end up picking an assassin here. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, the Sakai can still go
Aduh,
rogue.
Beatrix main jungle lah.
Like Hayabusa is still available for them to pick, and it would not be a bad combo.
the Joy even there too.
And the Joy. Oh, okay, so it's an Akai
Gatot
jungle.
kaca langsung dipakai sama James Pangka guys ya.
That is such a tanky
Sama
lineup, but
Valentina.
it's too close range. It
Yeah, everyone.
Ini Omega ni formasinya
is
pelik
a
ya.
little bit too divey for my taste, but then the fact that they picked up the Valentina means they could get a
Dan
bit of
jangan
artillery
lapu-lapu
if he
jungler,
does
guys,
steal the
ya.
ultimate
Lapu-lapu.
of the Farsa away. This alleviates a little bit of the
Ini dua
pressure, though, but
MM
not
ya.
so much, because even if you still go
Apa
assassin
ni dia
here
nak
for
pakai guys?
Ryzen,
Edit dah,
it's
edit.
gonna be a tough jungling pattern for him.
Yeah,
Let's
they're gonna
put
be hard
jungler,
pressed to
bang.
actually just get the feather airstrike over and over again, since you also have a little bit
Let's
of
put jungler.
versatility. You can also go aggressive with
Betul ni,
the
let's put jungler
Janana
ni.
Slam if ever.
Good to see apa
So
action
lots
against
of options
one.
here, but you're right.
Janana.
The range is going to be problematic, especially in the early game.
Maybe not the Joy.
Ini dipakai siapa ni guys ya?
Is
Gagak.
it gonna be the Hayabusa?
Boleh ni.
Oh!
Oh, S-bomb.
Okay, there we go.
All right, not
Oh,
bad.
betul lah.
That slipped my mind, but yeah, that's actually a perfect
Sampai komen
pick.
tadi
You're
tu.
up against a tanky
S-bomb.
jungler.
S-bomb
You
jungler,
have
guys, ya.
a lot of dive against the
Oh,
opposing
the
team.
swag.
However, does
The swag
Export
dengan
have enough of a
Beatrix.
tanky front line to actually help him out?
S-bomb
Because with the
jungler,
Lapu-Lapu and the Kalea, we know there
Oh,
are
yeah,
times where
man.
Kalea
Ini
actually
tournament ni,
just
tournament
goes
ni.
down
Live,
very
live.
quickly, even though she can catch. This might put pressure on the Xborg to frontline a little bit
Philippine
more,
lawan Philippine
which
guys
you
ya.
don't really want to do. So it's up to Omega to how to execute this so that the Xborg, Lapu, and Kalea are all on the same page.
Yeah, it feels
Di
more
menurut
like
kalian
an
siapa
even-out
menang ni?
lineup here, if you think about
FP
it.
Brand atau Omega? Omega, bang. PS, bang.
They
Xbox
will
is
try to
OP.
recoup and then
Xbox
go back
OP,
to the
guys.
fight once more. This is going to be the
Akai
one
jungler,
I don't
bro,
know
dia
you
main.
guys, you
Akai-
guys are
Akai yang
thinking about
panda
this
tu
one.
yang
It
gemuk-gemuk.
does feel like Omega has covered all the bases, and AP Brand again very close range, being very late
Ini
game.
meta
centric
PS
here.
guys ya. Kita kena copy ni meta
I think it's
meta Philippine
pretty
ni.
surprising to see that
Akai
AP did
jungler,
not
Xbox jungler.
opt to go for any purify spells though. They're literally backing on the
Bang, udah makan belum? Udah
I
makan.
mean, Omega rather. They did not pick up any purify purify spells. Not
Okay guys,
with the
game dah
presence of
mulai
Arkai,
guys.
Not even with the presence of an Arlan
FPB Run lawan Omega. Ini first time live stream tournament guys.
This very
First time nih.
That and they might be
Ini
starting
komennya
to
banyak
thought,
guys.
like, you know
Ada
what,
dari
instead of
PS,
just cleansing
Indon
it,
ada,
let's sidestep it.
Australia
Let's
ada,
force them to
Hong Kong ada,
change
guys.
their
Satu,
positioning
dua,
and
OMG.
make them dive a
Aduh,
little bit
katanya
deeper
kalah,
into our
the full
formation
game
by
is
flickering away. Looking at the emblem sets, nothing too crazy across the board, pretty standard.
Emblemnya pun nih ya.
One thing's for sure,
Beda-beda gitu
Super Yoshi's
emblemnya.
gonna have a bad time here. So many purifies on one side
Tergabung kan
means that
emblemnya tuh.
you're just gonna have a hard time catching anyone, even if you hit level 4 right
Okay.
away. So they might have to play around
Okay,
those
nampaknya
purifies
dah
timings
mulai serang,
very
guys.
well. Otherwise, you're just getting run over by this beefy lineup from AP Bren.
Yeah.
Bencana,
Whoever
bencana
you
ini,
want to
bencana
set
nih guys
up
ya.
using the
Tournament.
Tsunami Slam is gonna be quite difficult too.
Moscow lawan
Aqua and
Beatrix,
Shizu
okay,
are the
Moscow.
players with both the Purify spells, and
Tapi
I'm not
menurut
sure
aku
they want
macam
to bring in
Beatrix
James
lah.
Pax
Damage
closer
tu besar
to
di
Smart
game.
Omega or not even Lord JM. So it'll be
Kalau
very
Moscow tu late
important
game,
that
guys.
Super Yoshi
Di hero-nya.
finds and uses this Tsunami Slam on the right target later on.
Yeah. Earlier damage profile seems
level
to be
4.
better
Siapa tu?
for Omega right now, but of
Akai dah
course
level
for
4 guys.
Brand, they have the raw sustain that can help them survive. Don't forget, Akai has built
Okay, nampaknya ada
into
serangan
his
ke
kit.
atas.
James
Okay,
Maxwell
okay.
able to get the last hit there onto the EXP. And then you also have the Revitalize coming in for X Nova. No Revitalize on the side. of
Oh,
Omega.
Moscow nampaknya buat
He's
damage ke
having a hard time
Beatrix.
laning against Shizo. Much more
Oh,
confident.
nyawanya Mega
this
guys
time,
ya.
kid.
Yeah, I think he was a bit too deep in that particular fight. But
Nampaknya ada
Brent might be the first
ada
ones to
bencana
start
guys ya.
for this
Dekat
turtle
turtle
rising.
nampaknya diorang dah mula nak ambil turtle.
Dealing some damage as well.
Icebox
as
dah level
X
4.
is
Dah
exactly
ada anti.
He is seemingly being
Okay,
right
Allah
now.
dah join guys ya.
It's not
Okay,
bad.
lapu-lapu buka
That
anti.
final slash did not connect and it will be
Okay, siapa menang ya? Dapat
It will
datang.
be the first to fall. That's heavy spin coming in.
Wede, Akai dapat turtle.
Allow him to secure that turtle. It's a double kill for Ryzen, however. So they
Mati
trade
guys ya
things
Valentinanya.
out.
Okay,
Rata.
that was a little bit of a mess here coming in from AP Bren. Omega capitalized so
Yes,
beautifully
it is
after
over.
that,
This
after
is
fact as
over.
well.
Yeah, however, James Brown showing why Akai is a great option in the jungle. Just heavy spin under everything. You really do not
ada
care.
gambar item dia,
You
guys.
just go ahead and Retribution there. But yeah, Lord JM needs to tighten up his
detail,
timing a little bit more.
Tunjuk.
He was way too early and too eager with that final
Okay,
slash.
daun dah beli kasut,
Flicker. He
guys,
also brought the
kasut
flicker
mana.
for that.
Ooh, now that you bring that up, that's a lot of resources being used, and that might be
Apanya
the opening
S-Box
that Omega
buff
has.
Akai
Maybe
guys.
just
S-Box.
make sure they can reel in this mid
Dia
game.
cik buff
Yeah.
Wait,
purple.
did Ryzen?
Yes, invade. Great call actually, but
Nampaknya
Ryzen
satu
might get
kaca
caught out here.
cuba haras
Okay,
Xbox
throughout
guys.
the armor
Okay, ada
already
bencana
gone.
berlaku
That's
guys.
the
Bencana,
AOG
bencana.
on to Ryzen, however, and James is doing such a
Okay.
great job at zoning as
Akai
well.
ulti
There's gonna be
ni,
an
siapa
order
ni?
coming in from
Lapu-lapu.
James Packful Super
Lapu-lapu
Yoshi
mati,
to
guys.
provide
Lapu-lapu
the right
mati.
amount of support,
Jatuh
or
entak
will
sekali, guys.
he be caught as well? That's
Xbox
the
ke
last
ulti.
insanity copied by
Oh,
Aqua,
mati. Kalian
and
mati
they
juga,
actually
guys,
get
ya.
the kill
Sama
for
lapu-lapu.
themselves.
Man, Aqua was holding on to that last insanity.
Well,
I
Pip
thought
Aaron
he'd use it
Power,
on
guys,
Ryzen, but he was saving it. And now AP Bren will continue to invade into the jungle of Omega, making it even
Akai
harder
cik
for this
buff ni
export to
guys.
farm.
Buff Mega
Definitely
Xbox.
not the Valentino that Omega was expecting for
No.
sure this time around. And that's AP Bren with a little bit of a surprise factor, getting them a bit of a lead. Again, small margins here really are the big difference maker,
Yeah.
especially in that goal lane.
Bang,
we're
dah
looking
bagus
at,
skornya,
the goal
dua sama,
difference here
guys.
is very, very close.
Happy Biren dah bunuh
Apparently,
2,
the
Omega dah
entire
bunuh 2
idea
guys.
of AP Bren being too melee in terms of their lineup
Apanya
isn't
dua-dua,
something they're letting
club ni
themselves
kuat,
be
guys, ya.
limited by.
Tournament
They're just
Filipina.
being so aggressive with this entire concept, and it's not that smart Omega are able to find ways to work around it either.
Yeah, well, this is what we mentioned with the lineup of AP Brand, that the aggression that they have, they can invade, they can consistently
Again,
harass, get
katal ko dua, guys.
information. So they're taking
Bencana ni,
positions,
bencana
and
berlaku
they
ni.
needed to do that because at the end of that,
Ada
James
open
Brown
buat
still
ni,
did not walk
walaupun
away with a
total
purple buff. Ryzen walked away with 2, even though that meant that his orange buff was taken away from him. There's a better steal and buff
Okay,
secured
S-Nova
for
masuk dulu,
Omega.
guys.
Now
Gatak,
Ryzen,
gatak.
though, needs to be careful. The P Brand are close.
Okay, ada bencana berlaku guys.
Goes
Siapa
in,
dapat
get
tengah?
Super Yoshi last insanity,
Let's
the
go,
Hura
Akai
gets the
buka
turtle.
ulti.
It's still gonna be James back. Super
Yeah.
Yoshi will fall as well. James trying to run away. Haji using the feathered airstrike. There's a flicker coming in from James, but they won't be able to find a trade.
AP Bren dapat
what a
turtle,
clean
guys.
take.
These points,
Dapat
these
dua kali
last
total,
insanities are really making it so hard for these players to actually find their targets. Actually, I was a little surprised. I was confused whether that was like Aqua or Ryzen. Either way, it can really mess up the timing here, and I don't think Omega is dealing with it very well.
Yeah, I mean, we did acknowledge, even though this the X-Borg was one of the last best picks that Omega could have gone for there. It really was just, it's running with a lot of risks, especially since you have a lineup built so that the X-Borg actually needs to front, meaning that he'll be taking the initial brunt of damage, which makes his window of using that last insanity even smaller. As we look at the items, Dreadnought
guys,
already locked in
guys.
for 2 junglers, no full item secure. Oh, excuse me, already the anti-Karass, but the X-Borg shouldn't be too far from that. For the 2 gold players, still waiting for the full item build on the Matrix. So, okay, AP Bren, instead of deciding to commit that, they realized they missed some key abilities and just backed off instead.
They're gonna want to hold on to that and wait so they potentially could get another successful take on the next turtle, because they've taken 2 turtle right now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at these 2 XP lanes down
Very
there.
solid move.
Wow.
Again, seeing those, obviously the 1-for-1s, we're seeing them play essentially what we'll see them later on, very in your face rather. And I can't wait to see the full 5-man, honestly. That's all we're waiting for right now. 6.5 minutes into the game. Omega, they want that fight. They want to be able to use these heroes. But for the meantime, it does feel like Netsky does need more items to actually get into fighting form.
Yeah, better positioning right now though for Omega for this
Omega
objective. Of course, you're going to be expecting the SOD to come in. Good thing James Bounce decided to move forward alongside Aqua to hold the forward shrug, which means Omega need to commit a play.
Wait, they close the reaction from Lord JM. Jika takes the turret down bottom instead though, but James Bounce, he has his eyes set on Ryzen. Gets cancelled out by the Tsunami Slab, however, there's the OG X Nova right now. He's isolated all by himself, but it's James Bounce who's targeted by Ryzen all over again. He's saving that last insanity over and over again for this hero.
In the bottom lane though, you see Shizo splitting the map.
Oh my god.
Yeah, James Bounce a little bit too eager to try and find Netsky out of position. He actually was trying to chase after the Matrix to heavy spin him away. It looks like Omega's gonna get this turtle.
Okay, James trying to go for Aqua again, because now
that was like almost a 2-minute team fight all across the map, and they don't show any signs of slowing down. X-Nova propping it and getting ready for the defense. They're gonna be able to clear, but man, oh man, I think Omega took AP Bren there for a ride.
Yeah, AP Bren again started off with James Bounce a little bit too... He was too greedy, trying to go after Netsky. I'm gonna be honest.
There's no other way to say it.
You know the way to say it. It ruined the formation of that AP Bren actually had, and it was a good one. Omega also caught AP Bren off guard. But the problem was, they actually, gotta say, wrong target. They were a little bit too eager to go after Lord JM, but the fact that it looks like AP Bren didn't go alongside James Bounce and weren't completely alright with his call to try and chase after the Matrix, it meant that AP Bren's formation just got ruined, and Omega actually walked away with a big win in that fight. Both gold laners still very close in terms of the gold. Malefic Gun and the BOD already locked in by Netsky, while Shizo does have the Corrosion Sight and the Golden Staff.
So that wasn't just me, right? That was so disjointed for AP Bren. I was going to ask you guys, what happened here? Is something wrong with this matchup, with this engagement they're doing? They did look super confident coming into it. But then again, it bought so much time. Shizu did get towers on the bottom. Maybe that's where the comps are busy with. But again, it didn't look stonks. And because of all of that, we are back on even ball game in terms of gold.
I mean, James Bounce probably thinks that Netsky has to be the target for Smart Omega. He's the marksman who joins the fight, because as we saw, it's Shizu who gets to do a lot more things on his own, as expected from Moskov, but Smart Omega, it does feel like they're trying to make it work with Netsky together with them as much as they can whenever there's a team fight that breaks out. So when that happens, James Bounce just has his eyes set on Netsky, but he has to be careful to not do that same mistake which happened earlier.
He did acknowledge that last season he was scared to make mistakes. Now he promised to the Bees that he'll be less hesitant to commit plays. And you know what? I'm a little bit more, I'm okay with that. Yes, that was clearly a mistimed call, but it's not at the end of the world. It's still a very close game in terms of the gold. If in an alternate universe, or maybe in the next sequences, James
just planting all the frames. And so he doesn't land, but that was a perfect last insanity, forcing away all the members of Omega. Shizu just goes after them, doesn't get to get the take it back. It's a triple for Shizu.
The silent kid with a play heard around the world, and just when we were talking about it,
JJ
not the
Moscow,
end of
JJ
the
guys.
world for
Siapa ni?
AP Bren. This
Cizo,
time it was
nama dia.
Omega
Cizo,
who
guys.
got caught sleeping. Haji, I don't know why he used that
Nah,
feather
betul kan?
airstrike
Moscow black game
right
minggu
in
sakit.
front of a Gato
Nah,
Kacha.
Moscow ni
So
dia main
early
dengan
as
dia.
well, like very early on in the fight. That positioning was
Nampaknya
punished
Brand dah
hard.
kembali, guys, ah.
And I was like,
8-5
oh,
ni.
so that's what they were trying to do
Score
earlier.
niya.
They were a bit too forward.
Way too
All of
forward.
them. And even Ryzen,
Ah,
I know
dia
he
hantar
still
emoji
had the
badut,
Viraga
bro.
armor and he had a way to get out of it once you lose the Viraga armor, but he was in a spot that
Dia
could
menang,
still
guys.
get
Happy
easily
Brand menang
pinned
ni.
down by
Moscow
the
dah
heavy
jadi
spin
naik.
nonetheless. And the duration of the heavy spin is no joke.
Better
It
play
was
anti
still
last
able
guys.
to catch up after the last Insanity, or after the Viraga armor went down.
Yeah, and now with a 5,000 gold lead, yes, it's only Lord 1, and it doesn't look like AP Brand doesn't have the
Damage
minion
to
waves right for them to throw bodies. They're still just going to try and get turrets. The Holy Shield is 100% going to get
Ni guys,
popped.
damage din
If they
eh.
cannot get the turrets here, then yeah, they're just going to be playing around, controlling the map, and then just playing the minion waves so that they can get the next Lord without a problem. Because the bad thing about Omega losing in that time is because now it pushes the lead to around 5k, closing into 6,000 at around the 12 to 13 minute mark. That is a moment in time where you do not want to be at a deficit
Okay,
that
double
large.
kill.
Yeah, and folks, remember,
Masih
this is from
guys,
zero,
masih dalam
from
tahun
a
ni,
zero
Moscow.
goal lead to
Oh,
5k in one play.
Well,
And wipeout as well to boot.
Moscow,
Basically
guys,
gave the
damage
whole
besar
map
ni.
AP Brand in
2-0
one
ya,
instance.
2-0.
This
Happy Brand.
Valentina by Aqua is becoming really terrifying as well.
Yeah.
Like the way he just keeps on picking up the last Insanity. That last
Yeah,
sequence we
item
saw
Moscow
from
kan dah beli
Aqua
ni guys,
was
ah.
just
Apa
so
nama item
perfect
tu?
as
Yang
well.
warna biru tu,
It
yang
was
kalau dah
so
nak
well
mati,
timed. It was
dia
in a
pakai
spot
item dah.
that Smart Omega had no choice but to walk in a single direction or path to get away, and that made it
Apa
just
ni?
so much more easier for Shizu
Some
as well to
zombie
catch up and
plan, you
deal
will see
the
my
right amount of
prediction.
damage. And he's gonna be a harder target to catch right now too, especially
Ni
as he
komennya banyak
already
Filipin
has
guys, ah.
his hands on
Bahasa
that
Filipin ni semua.
Sure.
Yeah, good to see Aqua back in the Philippines. To the teams that almost got Aqua, but just for some
Bang,
reason
kau
something
dari
happened and
Filipina.
that
Bukan.
he wasn't able to join your team. Well, you guys missed out though. Aqua's
Moscow
still really
is
good.
super
Yeah, he's
VR,
making a
yeah,
big
Moscow
splash.
point, guys.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, huge splash, huge impact.
So
Absolutely.
far, and he's doing what the Valentina. Hold on though.
Oh
Ada
my
water
God,
banyak.
Haji gets cancelled, and look at the damage coming in from
damage
Shizu.
besar,
He
guys.
gets another double kill. Could have potentially picked up a triple
Oh,
only
sakit,
if
sakit, sakit.
Omega stayed a bit longer. But they're gonna respect AP Brand now. They have no choice but to respect them.
Yeah, Omega are crumbling right now. It seems like a few.
Sampai
That's already
sokong MP
two
Brand,
lapses
guys.
in
MP
judgment
Brand
by
menang, eh.
Haji. Feathered airstrike at the wrong spot. They're not
Banyak
clearing the
Omega kalah ni,
key
guys, ah.
areas that AP Brand could be in. There seems to be a disconnect right now between Haji, Super Yoshi, and Ryzen in terms of just checking crucial areas so that they can get info to see if it's safe
Ni,
to
komen
use
yan,
the Feathered airstrike. And now it's bad because AP Brand
komen
they're
niya.
gonna wait for 14-10.
Banyak Filipin.
Once that passes, they'll break it, then they'll wait for the next wave. AP Brand can win it in the next siege, closing in on 7,000.
Yeah,
Bang, dah
exactly
makan
how they
belum?
do it.
Dah.
I'm super. Is this the what do you call that? Is this a consequence of not picking up Purify on one of these heroes? Is their battle plan getting
Bang,
messed up
lagi lag, bang,
over
ya,
and
lagi
over
lag.
again? Maybe.
I don't think it's the Purify. I mean, again, the Flicker, they
Tanaman niya.
decided to go with that. The reposition idea is good. It's just that repositioning from a very bad position is just already a tough call.
I don't know.
Once
You
you're in
said position many times there.
Exactly. When
Di
you're in a
menang ni,
bad
guys.
spot
Yep.
and you try to make the
That's
most out of it,
Terima.
usually you don't.
Yeah.
Haji,
It's
kayak-
best if you are in a decent spot, even if it's not the best.
Yes.
Because you're
In the
able
first
to
place.
at least put yourself in a better one after that. But if there's like no way out of wherever you put yourself in, then that's what we're seeing from Haji right now, and that's really dealing a lot of problems for Smart Omega.
Aqua.
At least they have some decent wave clear and defense. This is still a Farsa Beatrix that we're talking about, but they're syncing up the waves so well.
Yeah, beautiful sync up. Of course, decent wave clear still for Omega is available, so I don't think they'll suffer more than this. But yeah, we're seeing them slowly just getting bumped into their base, and you know, guys, when this happens, you know what's up. We know what's next.
Oh, ada
that's the
peperangan
Tsunami
berlaku,
Slam.
guys.
Lord
Bencana,
JM
bencana.
finds himself under the turret. James doing a great job zoning, but
Oh.
has to flicker out
Santai,
to safety.
santai
Last
dulu.
insanity committed by Aqua just to escape, and as you mentioned, they're able to hold on to their remaining two base turrets.
Base gold meta.
I don't think that could have gone significantly better for
Siapa
AP
yang base
Brand,
gold
but
meta? Moskov
I don't think it was just Omega just doing the right things there. AP Brand missed something. It looks like they were scared to dive under that
Gila,
tower
mas
when
guys,
Lord JM
bebas
got
sudah muna
picked.
to.
Yeah, there were minion waves that they needed to deal with, and with the tower being more than 50% health, it would have been risky. But I feel like they could have pulled the trigger on a play there. They would have lost 2, bringing the lead down to maybe around 4,000, but that isn't a bad loss. That would have been a trade. If 2 for 1, at most 2 for 2, and then that means it's still good for you.
Could have been actually games they got free.
Yeah, I feel like they were too cautious there.
I mean, James also jumped in.
Cooldown dia
So
lagi
he
apa? Lagi legend
got
eh.
some attention
Bling-bling
from
eh.
some of the members of AP Bren, but I feel like they could they
Alright.
could have been more decisive.
Yeah.
Even if it's just on James, because he was
Okay,
already in
na-check
that.
buff. Pwede.
Either way, Ryzen's still trying to attempt to take this.
Yeah.
Will successfully do
Otherwise,
so,
what
but
happened, guys?
you have 30
Bummer.
seconds before this upcoming Lord, and the waves are going to be such a huge problem for Smart Omega.
Yeah, so that few seconds is going to be super crucial in this next one. We are talking about Omega. What is the comeback play here? What's it looking like for Ryzen as well, as well as Netsky? Netsky has not actually shown up all game long, running 0-1 on the Beatrix.
Yeah, the man is farmed up though. Like in terms of items, he's
Suara
good.
YouTube
Don't have to
na
worry
dala.
about the damage he can dish out. They do have the true damage going around through Ryzen. Although Ryzen could have more items here, he had to go for a bit of a chop suey build to just
Nah,
chase
so YouTube.
raw physical and magic defense points. Now it doesn't look like AP Bren, or excuse me, Omega will actually be able to contest this healthily. They'll be forced to give it up. And you asked about the condition. The condition now for Omega is simple. Turn it around through defense.
At least they have some skills and some resources to ban, but only if AP Bren weren't as hesitant earlier in this upcoming fight, it could go sideways for Smart Omega, because I feel like they tried their best to defend already earlier. Like they put James in the front a bit more. They had Ryzen to clear out the waves coming in first, and then Haji and Netsky just from a distance. They're most likely gonna replicate that. But if AP Bren has a different plan in mind this time, it could go better for them.
Yeah, so this is take 2. Let's see what change they're going to do here. Right on front here is Lord JM. He's actually quite low.
Guys, ada perang
That's a
baku
nice
guys.
jump coming in from James and
Whoa.
the flicker as well. James Pass already forced to use the heavy spin also.
What is happening here?
Okay, I think this is where I have to give Omega a little bit more credit. They are clearing up the mid-minion waves very well. That is difficult for AP Bren to actually pull the trigger in a tower dive in the mid or in the top. But at some point, it's a game of patience now, because I also understand the hesitation of AP Bren. If they slip up, it's going to be a devastating loss. And we saw it from them and from multiple teams in the Philippines, all across season 15. That they try to end it. It's 6,000 plus, it's the late game, their tower's up, they dive, they think that they're okay. But you get it, because the 6,000 gold lead at this point doesn't really matter, because Omega are pretty stacked in items as well.
This is just what happens, right? We are in a point where everyone is on, what they call that? Critical mass.
Yeah.
Everyone's critical mass. Even if they're behind, it feels like everyone is on level.
Yep.
So they know that one slip up could really snowball really badly. Netsky from 0-1 could easily turn 5-1.
Yeah. I've seen too many Beatrix users suddenly
Diyan guys, anta ko
delete
full screen guys.
the opposing team.
Then you're gonna get run
who
over
just
basically, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess those war flashbacks are happening right now for AP Bren.
Maybe.
That's happened to them so many times in the last season as well, where they were ahead by so much, and then they just lost the series altogether.
I think I'm gonna give caveman analysis here. Throw bodies, hit tower. Bro, you can do it.
I think they can with Shizu just like so crazy right now.
Yeah,
I think they do have the power to do it.
Just James Pass, Aqua, X-Nova, Lord JM just have this like promise of loyalty of like, we are all going to fall.
Belum
But
enak
that
guys.
means Shizu just gets to lock the tower and we're okay and we
Bang,
win.
score dah bagus. 10
Yeah, AP Bren together strong.
That's the
AP
idea of
Bren
their
10,
lineup, right?
Omega 5.
That should be it.
Together.
Again,
Bang,
I cannot
menurut
doubt
lu siapa
why
menang?
they're. I can't understand why
Alam
they're
menurut
playing it
aku
so
AP Bren
safely. But
guys,
at this point, if you play
Alam,
safely
Moskov ni,
all throughout the game, your opponent also reads that. They can play around it.
Just go monkey, man.
Because
Go
we thought,
monkey.
they were just
minutes,
so
10,
dive heavy. So
11,
it's weird to see them not diving.
Yeah, the problem is they waited for so long that Omega, their 6k gold lead really
Yeah, man,
doesn't matter
Moskov
now for
meta,
AP Bren. Like,
Moskov.
Omega can just turn it around already.
Come on, guys, move. You gotta get that stick. You poke AP Bren, do something.
Oh,
Ada war guys.
AP Bren who might actually do something.
wag lang eh.
The final stop doesn't land though, and now that's the counter tsunami slam landed onto Lord JM, but the Fettered airstrike, it's just being used, but gets cancelled by Infex. SOD will land as well. Shizu gets to 5 minutes onto James, but X-Nova and Aqua blocking the paths of the members of Omega who are trying to run away. That's an immortality pop for Super Yoshi, but James finds Aqua in exchange for Ryzen.
Okay, 1-for-1 trade. No jungle on the other side. AP Bren will be able to get the sword without a problem. See, sometimes you just gotta go monkey. Just go for it.
Yeah, it looked really bad for a second, but then X-Nova was in front of Netsky. Netsky could not do anything, man.
Yeah, there are too many blade armors also on the side of AP Bren. Oh, wait, Slam Slam?
They still want to go for it. Penetrate gets dodged! Lord J, what a beautiful usage of the Vengeance! And now Harvey gets deleted! Shizu's godlike! Two man stun coming in from Lord JM, and now they're just trying to run away, but Netsky has no way out! Gets to use the Wind of Nature, but that's not gonna save him! It's only Super Yoshi and James, and even Super Yoshi will fall! There's no need for a Lord! It's them!
Guys, Moskov guys, Shinzo menang guys.
Trying to end the game. They'll pick up the kill onto James before doing so. And now, after 22 minutes, AP Bren secures game number 1.
Omega kalah.
Can you believe it? It's AP Bren coming out on top.
Menang
After that very shaky initiation there, I really thought that was going to go over, but you know what? They picked up after them so very well.
Remember this day? Sometimes caveman analysis just works. Throw bodies, lock tower. Except this time it was throw bodies multiple times, and then you realize you actually do still have a lead. You have the damage, you're good. Your lineup is still way too difficult for the side of Omega to handle, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Apparently they were fine.
It should have been over 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
You're right. What was the longest game yesterday? I feel like we had a 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was like around 23 minutes.
This one's 20.
Very lengthy.
But then again, I think everyone, even the viewers watching right now, will agree that should have been over like way sooner.
We all understand the hesitation. Moments where sometimes you really just gotta go, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, lagi live stream.
It happened to Team Liquid thrice in MSC, and they still walked away as champions.
There was like a small sliver of maybe something could happen, but then again, James Banks says, no, Netsky. No, it's Shizu who's the MVP here with 8-0 and 3 on that Moscow.
He's bulletproof.
I know Netsky did a great job yesterday, but all I could see for this game was Shizu.
Yeah.
From the laning phase up until the moments wherein they had to go through team fights. And I don't know, like, Shizu, when he was needed the most to do the split pushes, he delivered. When he was needed in the team fights, he delivered just the same.
She's out.
Everywhere that AP Bren needed him to. Even in the team fights that AP Bren would look like they would lose, Shizu was alive. Shizu was doing the job, and Shizu was getting things done.
Yeah, with a perfect game, it means that his positioning, his timing, all of it was near perfect. Just a tough target to catch for the members of Omega. SOD would be coming in, came in from time to time. It's just the perfect time. He got that highlight triple kill here. He was just too difficult to catch for Omega. It meant that AP Bren just was way too tanky and had too much damage, safe damage, for Omega to handle.
Yeah, Shizu wasn't like the super highlight player. He wouldn't do those crazy SOD out of nowhere, but he's very consistent. His positioning here in these team fights, no one could touch him.
Yeah, Shizu went to work.
He was 0 deaths up until like the very end of the game.
That was beautiful. Beautiful to see here. James obviously valiant effort trying to clear those minion waves. Can't really do that at this point. This is 22 minutes. Those minions be chonky.
I mean, I don't know if like we're seeing such a great connection between Shizu and Aqua. I think they're both known to be very quiet players outside the game, but in this game, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem to be the case.
The two quietest dudes who were just absolute monsters in this game.
Maybe they're communicating with telepathy at this point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so curious. How is the comms for
new comms?
Lord JM really needs to fix his comms with his ultimate though.
Jeez, oh yes.
There were a few missed final slashes, but I like how for every missed final slash he had a final slash that followed afterwards that was just, hey guys, Here you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's like, thank you, Lord JM.
The team fights were going so long that he had to take two
banyak beli apa?
every
Beli
time.
ammo.
Yeah, so for every error, he always made up for it,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah,
commend.
ammo
As an
counter niya.
EXP laner who does mess up a lot, I
Counter
relate to
item
that.
niya.
Yeah, or if it's not the
Full
final slash
damage.
right after, it's a clutch
Okay.
vengeance that just saves him and bait or resource from Smart Omega, which already does a lot
Yeah.
for AP Bren to continue and be confident enough to proceed with the fights.
Yeah.
Doesn't take away from the fact that Xnova has definitely played so well here. On his debut for this one, very impressive positioning. And again, he knows the job. He knows what it needs to get done. That's the only way that you can actually slow down Super Yoshi to this level. That's the only way you could stop Netsuki in the late game as well as a Gatot Gacha. Very
Yeah.
impressive for this guy.
Yeah, full screen, eh?
Somehow, Smart Omega, especially coming in from yesterday, are a bit like overheating from
You think so?
the win that they had, because like even for Haji, there were a bit of questionable positionings here and there, which we did point out. Netsuki, we did observe that he's been a bit more careful in terms of his playstyle, but maybe we need a bit style now.
I'll be the other guy. I'll be the guy on the other side of that thought. I feel like Netsuki just really couldn't find time for that. Because AP Brand, we're not giving him the space. Again, at the end of the draft, we were talking about it simply. AP Brand just had a front-heavy lineup that can break the formation of Omega really well. Omega are coming into this with a lineup that's static around the Farsa, have a very clear tight formation. AP Brand can afford to be a little bit messy. The last pick, X-Borg, meant they even had an X-Borg on their side alongside the Nakai, alongside the Gatot Kacha, that it was just way too difficult for Omega to pull this off. And yes, I will continue my theme from MSC. Akai, folks.
Hi, man.
The church of Akai is beaming strong.
Okay, full
Of course,
screen.
BPI rich guy here. Shizu, very silent, very deadly, and very curly.
Very
The hair just really gets me. I love Shizu's hair, man.
Silent, deadly, and curly.
It's
So,
just don't
Ganyan,
hate
sa
the
palawan.
guy. Don't hate the
Tignan lang,
player.
Omega gear.
the
Oh.
hairstyle.
He kept the hairstyles. It fits him very well. It's very
Sabagay,
attention
sa
seeking.
ko-
that broke
Okay.
me. I'm gone, dude.
Okay.
Can we throw to the next segment?
Let's throw it in the
I can't recover from this.
That's, I'll have to avoid looking at Shizu from now on.
It's just gonna catch you, right? Here's the ping test, though, just to show us some tournament integrity right here.
Lang, wala ba? Sinas na ba to? Gandahan niyo ako, pre. Gandahan niyo ako.
Jin, anong top ng mo? Dati mong team na nag-Cambodia?
Ha? Hindi ko alam, pre.
Champion?
Champion na ata yun eh. Pumasok lang ako naging top 8. English kasi, pare.
Rookie of the season. Dod, ikaw na bahala sa amin, daddy ah. Debut game of It's Gonna Be Nova. The boys are back. Tingnan natin kung matindi yung mga bagong AP Bren ah. Kung pinalakas ba? Haji vs Aqua, dad. Pinanis mo na yun, dad? Sakto lang, oy! Game, guys. Pause nga tayo. Paranas naman mag-playoffs. Garo, walang nanonood pag ano. Pag tayo talaga naglalaro, walang nanonood eh, no?
Last season, nakita namin yun versus Omega.
5 lang ata yung nanonood eh. Okay lang yan, tol. Pag nag-playoffs naman yan, tol, solid yan. Iba na pakiramdam ko ngayon sa stage, tol ah. Nung una, kinakabahan agad ako, check ping pa lang eh. Excited ako. Ngayon. Finals MVP, It's Gonna Be Nova. Sa mga manonood ng laban namin ngayon, tatandaan ko yan. Hi guys! Sorry, di ako shout sa salita. Focus ako sa game. Mamaya shoutout ko kayong lahat.
He was not done.
Yeah, like
that
that
was a smart thing.
Snuck in there at the right
I
time.
love that. That was beautiful.
My favorite line was him saying, I want to experience being in the playoffs.
Just once, right? Just once. And this is a big throwback as well to the 5 Echo fans. This is basically the 5 AP Brent Bs. 5
All right.
Bs or something.
Yeah.
You gotta cook something up for these guys. Because they're saying that, when we play, we don't see as many people watching.
But hey,
I mean, not
actually,
yet.
right now, the AP Brent side does have more viewers than the Omega side.
They do.
So there's a hopeful. And I like how, again, because of the history of what happened with like AP Brent into Team Falcons, AP Brent Falcons, all that, Falcons AP Brent, is that there are people I saw here yesterday while cheering for Falcons, now cheering for AP Brent. And I'm pretty sure they also have tickets for the second match, so that they're just gonna be here Because they're also going to be cheering for Falcons against Twisted later.
Basically, dual citizenship.
Yeah, they have dual citizenship. Yeah, one in Manila, one in Riyadh.
I wonder how the fancy Clavan teams for these two teams are
I would
going.
love to see that.
I feel it's like an awkward family reunion. It's like, hey.
Again, so many people turned up here, but again, the weather. Guys, the weather, it's really very cloudy, very rainy.
There's a storm.
There is a storm.
I'm
So
not gonna lie.
I'm surprised there's still a lot of people watching here today. Even if I bought, I wouldn't really go out usually. But man, these fans are real. They're wild. They're crazy. I love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to game 2.
Hello.
A big does Omega right now feel familiar to you? What Omega's doing here? What do you guys think about this?
Omega did give them difficulty, but at those times it felt like a little bit more
Happy
because
Brand,
of AP Brand's
go,
errors.
go.
Like they made a mistake
Yo,
and Omega capitalized. And a lot of their wins yesterday
Happy
against
Brand,
TNC
go,
Pro Team
guys.
came from that idea.
Katanya ni
TNC Pro Team made mistakes and they
Philippine,
capitalized.
kasi
But
they
as
don't
we saw,
have-
if AP Brand have their positions right, have their
How about
timings
those?
right,
Get this
their
MVP
draft was
language.
just way too difficult
Nah,
for a
to,
very static focused
the best
lineup for
MVP
Omega to
tournament,
deal with.
guys.
Because again,
Philippine.
they're playing an X-Borg with a Lapu-Lapu that yes,
Bang,
if it's
nanti buat
snowballed,
live stream.
maybe a different story. But
Mana ya?
even then,
Malaysia
he'll get
tournament.
mispositioned
Okay,
and
guys, ya,
misplaced
entah
so
buat.
quickly through that Akai that
Kalau ada-
the X-Borg of Ryzen doesn't have enough support for him to
Kalau
do
ada
really
peluang
well.
nanti aku buat.
Yeah, and even
Stream Mobile
another thing
Legends.
mentioned in the how
Mission,
was
guys,
the
tournament.
entire Super Yoshi catch hero, which they had. I feel like they had. It was a Kalea in Super Yoshi's hands, which we could say is well complemented by the Farsa because that's what you're always
Wow,
looking for
man.
when you
Happy
have
brand.
a hero that could really go for setups. But compared to yesterday, it felt a bit less coordinated as well. Like a smart Omega overall. I do feel like even yesterday,
Very
it
top check,
took some
is it?
time for them to find their
check,
footing, to find their control and dominance, especially in the mid portions of the map. It's not that instant once
More
they get
comment.
into the game, but
Comment,
here it never felt like they figured it out, not even amongst themselves, because I guess it's also the nature of the lineup that's, as you mentioned, too scattered maybe. Maybe they were forced to bring out this hero last minute too from the export because it was indeed a commendable drafting sequence from AP Bren that we saw earlier, even in anticipation of the Fanny,
This meta
even
of
in
UIS.
anticipation of all that.
That's true. This export really was. It felt like it was like you don't
It-
really have a choice.
It was good
bro.
at first, but like,
Yeah. And then you gave away. Then you realize, oh my god, the Valentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's also something we really have to commend AP
Yeah,
Brand for doing.
well,
The
it's
fact
meta,
that they picked
guys,
that Valentina as one of the last picks. Yes, it was
Meta,
risky in
Mobile
that they
Legends.
were now a very close
Guys,
range
what
focused
team do
lineup
you think will
playing
be
around
MC
one
for best team?
major egg in the basket, which is the Moskov. But they were able to
Pero
make
alam
it
mo,
work,
ako
and
team
because
sa
of how their
pas ni,
lineup was
mungkin-
built, it was the right gambit to take
Mungkin
at the
Moskov
right
di-ban,
time.
guys.
That
Apa ni?
now looking back, it's like,
Ano,
okay,
Omega
you
na
know
lang
what?
pa Moskov
The
ba yun?
Valentina was perfect. It was the perfect time to pick it. It was a,
Mungkin
and I feel
natin
like
nakalipi,
maybe
guys.
there's
Sa may
even a
pipilan,
portion
mungkin
of me that believes that
natin,
AP
guys.
Brand expected the X-Borg to come through.
Ah,
That's
yeah,
why they
natin,
picked up the
natin.
Valentina.
That's
Yeah.
like
Nathan siya
so
medyo besar,
forward thinking of you, man.
Yeah.
Wow, beautifully done.
It's Aqua, bro.
It's Aqua again.
yeah, because I feel like if it were me or if it were any other like mage, maybe not here in MPL, I guess it's like you would just immediately think of ways to counter the Farsa in the opposing side,
Like
or
force yourself on the ease,
yeah, or
maybe.
maybe cancel or match like the
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
And that's why it was surprising that they didn't go for range.
Dua
They had
kosong.
ways
Trust
to
me, all
also
APBRN
have
is
range.
back.
They didn't
Why,
go for they absolutely
all APBRN
did not
guys,
go
ah.
for range there, and it still
Napamina
worked.
Philippines.
Again, that foresight is more impressive when you think
Dua
that the
kosong.
Valentine was
Percaya
picked
cakap
first
aku, APBRN
before the
mesti
export.
menang.
And it
Okay.
went that well because of last insanity
Laila first
at the same time in those team fights. So again, it feels like you're right.
Laila
This is very similar to what we
first
saw
out the
yesterday
wing,
as well for
katanya.
Omega, where they weren't strong right out the gates.
No.
They needed to pick up steam to get those wins, and
Kaya
as well, they
mantap
were
guys,
also
kaya
capitalizing
APBRN
on some
pakai
errors.
Laila, mantap guys.
In fairness, in this one, just like
Out the way.
yesterday, TNC were making errors. Omega capitalized.
Too many
We saw some
instead
glimpses
of-
of that.
Yeah. I feel like they...
Sabar,
Omega
sabar.
Esports
Jangan
in
kita
game
isi
number
dulu
one
adik-adik.
overthought the
Sabar,
Wuxian
sabar.
Gap ban. I wasn't a big fan of that. I understand
Sabar
why they
dulu,
would
sabar
ban
dulu. Game
Kimmy,
nya kamu
Two
ni.
mid bans,
Yeah, but that easily could have also been a gacha
Okay,
gacha
WS,
ban, and this
1-1
could have
defend,
been a
guys,
different
sa
story. But no
MPL.
point crying over spilled milk as milk.
Zishan sama Alot di ban.
As we go to the draft
Omega.
for game
That's
number
the thing.
2. And right now it's Omega taking away the Arlot of Lord JM.
Aku zoom nga na.
So that's gonna be one of the biggest changes for
That's
now,
not good.
or at least now that Smart Omega will be in the blue side.
Sabi ni
so
Mnang
gonna
eh.
So maybe the Phobius Glue CC options are gonna be available later on for both of the EXP laners. Although we did mention that the tempo controller EXPs work best for Smart Omega. So might they want to prioritize the CC just so they could ensure that they have that?
Oh, yeah, okay. So that's why Omega's taking away those. Arlott gone, Phobius gone. They're already signaling to AP Brand that Omega actually want to go for the CC rush.
And the CC has really dominated as well, even on day one, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a lot of that for sure getting picked up here today, especially with bands like these. You just can't go wrong with it.
Unless they want another Farsa Prio. But considering what happened earlier, I'm not so sure.
So that would be like 5 games
But
of
the
Haji
Lancelot's
playing
here too,
Farsa.
wait.
Yeah,
There you go.
There it is.
okay. I like that. Now, if AP Brand's gonna go static with their mid lane, they're now gonna think twice about picking up the Farsa early. The jungle pick's probably gonna come in red 3. I think if I'm AP Brand, they have to steal the CC away.
Yeah.
If not, they still do have a Hilda option that they could lean into later on. They go Uranus and Farsa. Okay, so they do pick up the Farsa. Uranus, again, after what happened in MSC, I'm not the biggest fan of, but
Halo,
still
saya
going
budak
to the jungle.
sama mukanya.
Yeah.
Paling
you could.
blocks, yeah,
Uranus
man.
in MSC
Main game, man ke, man.
exceedingly hyped, but did not really deliver.
Ay, si
Like,
Zaran
here comes
sa comment guys. Message.
not a fan of it.
That's still not as good as you can. You can be like King Kong on Uranus and still, you know.
Yeah, just then go ahead, park that Uranus in the
Okay,
EXP
sama.
lane.
Hi.
For sure.
Yes, it's just there. You're gonna have to compensate with more crowd control across the board, though, for the roam, jungle, gold. Even if you can get some really good solid crowd control through that, but then it's slim pickings for that.
Lapu, oh man. Game's having a lot of fun in that Lapu right here. You know what this Uranus is
Okay.
making me think for XP?
Depend ba siya guys?
Coach Jeff is like, alright, Lord JM, you saw what happened earlier?
There's a lot, lapu-lapu sa mahari. Dipik sa Omega niya.
Obviously, I'm just assuming.
Uranus, Farsa,
It's so hard to go wrong with the Uranus on XP.
It's a possibility too.
But with the Haji...
Nova, pakisa pa guys.
With the Haru advantage though.
Ciao
This is
guys.
X-Nova comfort.
That's
Close
X-Nova,
ni
right?
guys.
Yep.
Di pa guys.
Pick off, burst, single target. No clear
Waduh,
crowd
ni Bruce Lee nak
control
siya paharit,
through
guys,
to
di ba?
Uranus.
Ato lang slot guys din nak long.
I think AP Bren still have enough
Siapa
tools
menang,
to
guys,
go
sa
for
Jika?
a fighter or tank in the
Omega to
jungle.
Happy Brand.
They just compensate through raw damage for whatever
Happy
your
Brand
gold
bang,
laner
Happy Brand.
will be.
Happy Brand na.
There was a time in MSC where I always
guys,
was
ako-
thinking, you know what? If you're gonna
Tatawa
pick
guys
a
kaya.
Kareth,
Kalat
even
ada lang
though
slot
most
ni
teams
man sa
usually pick
Omega guys
Urusel,
na.
just pick up a carry in your lineup already.
Dala,
The
di
laning is
Chow.
okay because you're forcing the Harris to
Dito,
use
dito,
one
sa
dash
papel,
to if
Sizaw,
ever you get to
Sizaw.
catch it with the light wheel that you toss out. That's already one dash
Sizaw,
shot.
Ben
and
Saban
then
eh.
you already know how to play around the
Selena.
loop through that.
Yeah.
Selena guys na Ben.
They take out the Selena now for Aqua though. Still, I mean, if it's Aqua we're
Selena,
talking
depend,
about, there
okay.
definitely are a lot of other options out there. But I'm wondering if they would want to
Ayaw
balance it
busa.
out with a bad
Depend
handle
sama
for
Super Yoshi guys.
Because I feel like
Ay, busa masakit guys.
so
Salo
much
kala dira yung
harder for
epic mo,
Super
salo Ben ay
Yoshi
busa.
greatly impacts
Legend
the
sama
way
juga
Smart Omega
Ben.
are able to play.
Yeah.
Some of the signature heroes we know for Super Yoshi, especially in the previous season, are the likes of the Badam. I'm wondering
Ay,
if
Sizaw
they're
guys.
gonna be
Agak na pakai siapa
considering
guys.
that
Yep.
later on. I think
Moscow
that would be
lagi
a
ya,
great
bagay.
option.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ang
one.
lawan harit do. Susah Moscow.
They're still gonna go the Cho.
Harit
I think
na
Omega would also want to consider taking away the Joy. Just so if you
Joy,
really want to hammer
Captain
down the
Joy.
idea of like, alright, James Miles, you are not getting damage. What's he gonna do? Go into a lane? No.
Mia.
Hi again.
Laila bang pakai.
Just kidding.
Oh,
Laila to win
Okay with
eh.
Anakai, yeah.
Happy Brand.
Anakai in the jungle, and then you just pick up a carry
Oh,
as
I
a gold
lost
laner,
it,
or even a
the-
Beatrix. You just need raw basic attack. I hope that they don't go down the route of, okay, Granger and the Farsa together because you have range. I'd want to see
Yeah,
Shizu
oh,
end up
need
with someone that
Dom
has
Ben
just
dulu,
really good basic attack. They can
Dom
even go back to
Pakelagi
playing
eh.
the Moskov even.
Yeah, actually that's a bad
That's
idea to
key,
actually
guys, yeah.
just rely too much
Depends
on
on-
Ranger and Farsa because if, for example, your opponent dives on you, the angles go
Penny.
off.
What
If you go off
the
angle,
Penny
you actually mess
defense.
up a lot. We've seen that happen multiple times. times.
Okay guys, Caesar udah pakai siapa guys?
So might they not be considered
Kalau
the
menurut
Fanny,
teori
just,
aku nih, Moskow
they
guys.
banned out the Fanny still?
Kalau bukan Moskow,
Or is it just like to be safe?
apa guys? Laila bang, Laila.
Yeah.
Caesar pakai Laila.
Moskov right now.
Auto
Unless you have someone opening up the map. Because Omega right now want to play a tight formation with the
Saya
heroes
lawan
that
Harit
they show.
bro. Counter dia apa
Save
nih?
the James Banks hero for later, honestly.
Nathan ah.
Or again, just
Mungkin boleh jadi Nathan
Akai,
guys lawan Harit.
playing around Akai, Farsa, Moskov, and
Okay guys, Caesar. Come on.
That's very slow, right?
Pull out.
Okay.
Okay.
I like
This I
that.
like. Yeah, I prefer
Okay,
this.
come on guys. Okay.
And as we were talking about earlier, basic attack.
Yes.
That's what you needed to get.
Yeah, and the
Wait,
ability
dah katakan, guys.
reposition is
Eh.
I feel like once the members of Smart Omega dive in too deep and leave their
Kalau
damage
guys
dealer
ya, Caesar
damage
lock
too
pakai.
long, then that's gonna be a
Lawannya Harit.
Shizo. But that's the thing. Who is the other damage dealer?
You know, I wouldn't be mad if
Okay,
Omega
nih
picked
guys,
up
apa
like a
Yoshi
Franco
sama Rizky
I
guys.
love a Franco. Come on, Yoshi.
Or
Yoshi.
Franco or even a Minotaur.
Oh Yoshi Roma guys ya.
how about the
Roma.
Grok? Just-
Grok's
Oh my God.
okay too because you're up against the Claw, the Cho, the Farsa, just toss out
Cancel it
the...
out.
Ya,
Tectonic.
Grok oke juga Grok. Damage besar guys Grok.
Throw that out again.
Okay, so he does end up with
Here's
the
the
signature
Badang.
Badang.
Badang,
It's still the Badang. One of the
Badang
picks we
Roma.
posted earlier.
That's better.
Okay,
Kimi.
they're gonna go for a
Okay.
double carry centered around
Okay, like Kimi
magic
meta, guys.
damage. But they do also have a carry in the Lancelot. I like the damage, crowd control, range spread of Omega. Mid-range, well, long range technically.
Like
since
Kimi,
ultimate is the
ma-
Kimi, but I like this
Roma
lineup by
tagulan
OMG.
eh.
We might
Mid
go
lane
into
eh.
a game number 3 unless Lord JM
Mid lane
shows
guys.
more crowd control. They need more of crowd control. It cannot
Harit
just be the
golden,
Cho.
oke Harit golden
What
lawan
else is
clown
left in
nih.
terms of crowd control?
Ini lawan
Down,
JM
down.
guys, pakai
There's a
siapa nih?
blue, but like
Alotnya dari ban nih.
that's not even much.
They have to go for...
Tadi dia pakai
This
alot ya.
Uranus is an
Like
EXP
GM.
laner. They have to go for something like
Tadi
an
pakai alot
Akai
tadi.
or a Benoit.
Oke, Vendetta.
Wait. You just said
Benedetta.
XP later, but what?
Oke,
Then
menarik
on
nih guys.
XP, right?
So
Wait.
you're making James Banks play
Vendetta
Uranus
SP,
jungle.
guys.
Not unless it's a Benedetta jungle, but it's
No,
not
no.
likely gonna happen.
Jungle.
Years since we've seen that. I
Benedetta,
think literally years.
yeah, Benedetta
Oh
the
iya,
EXP
Vendetta
lane.
jungle guys.
Pure up, okay. Petrify, Electro Final Blow, through for the
Ini
Harry.
Vendetta.
Bad. Yeah.
Spilan di jungle guys.
The lineup of Omega just, AP Brand just feels scattered in thought.
I mean, even in the game, for sure, it'll
Yeah,
scatter.
right? I prefer the overall cohesiveness that we're
Masih
seeing
game dah
from the
masuk.
lineup of Omega a bit
Game
more.
kedua guys, Epic
But
Run lawan
maybe
Omega.
the
Siapa
Benedetta
menang
might
nih?
just, show
Ayo
up
teka, tembak.
to deliver enough surprises,
Filipino,
especially with the
Filipino.
Petrify and Electro Final Blow.
I feel like if the Benedetta
Ini
and the
duduk kok, guys, ya.
Uranus work together, hand in
Uranus
hand,
main jungler. What the heck?
that's a lot of disruption.
Uranus
but
bro.
How do you do that as a Uranus?
It's messy.
You
It's
throw
messy.
plates around you.
It's so awkward.
Vendetta SP
Yeah, right?
guys.
We're gonna have
Exactly.
to play around so much. We'll find out if that is gonna be the big difference maker here, whether the Benedetta is gonna make or break
Okay,
the
kita dah
lineup
sebelum menang, guys.
of Smart. Oh, sorry, AP Brand.
Let's go, let's
We're going to
go.
game 2, folks, and it looks like they're AP Brand's going for something that's not
Wah,
really tried and
ada
tested. Maybe Lord
kameranya
James
boleh
has
angle gitu.
hidden some training
Okay,
with this hero.
so they go for a fast clear, send the Benedetta in the
Yeah.
mid lane so that they can pressure the Lapu Lapu together.
Oh.
Siapa tak dapat
Good
chip
start,
bang guys.
good initial rotation. X-Nova also didn't get taken out as he was deeply diving into the jungle of Omega to try and scatter up Ryzen. They're going to continue the aggression.
Yo, okay, bencana guys,
I
ada
see
wah.
it now,
Wah,
okay.
wah, wah.
See the vision now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 3-man stun though, coming in from Haji. Might force
Aduh,
AP
Uranus
Brand to
ke
back
bawah.
off a bit.
Ciao dah nak
So,
mati ya.
I guess it's fast clear and constant invades
Yeah.
that AP Brand wants to do,
Masa
but
Vendetta lawan lapu-lapu kalah
seemingly
bro
enough
Vendetta.
damage for Smart Omega to deal with
Mati
it.
nih ya
Yeah, it's
Vendetta.
definitely something that's very punishable here. Like, if you want to go in Omega's face, Omega does not mind. They
Yeah.
don't care if you go in their
Yeah,
face.
they're
You're gonna get
Omega.
punched, literally, by a
Isi
hero.
darah, isi darah.
So,
By
AP
Omega.
Yeah,
Kosong-kosong
AP Brand are
nih.
hoping that they can
Bang,
take
lagi dive,
control
bang.
of this
Yeah,
game by
lagi
Turtle
dive.
1 or Turtle 2 just by, okay, they get to clear their own jungle safely without that much of a problem. They'll bother the rotation of Omega, and then it might just get to the point where after a Turtle 1 or a Turtle 2, they're already invading into the purple buff, or just the jungle of Omega overall, meaning that they'll be able to take control of the game through there.
Yeah. So it's gonna be so important that AP Brand successfully get to do that for the first few objectives, because if not,
Nah,
then
objektifnya
this is
total guys. Totalnya dah
Smart
kuat nih.
Omega just doing their thing, and Ryzen is just so confident
Guys,
right now.
aku dapat turtle nih guys.
So, I think
Yo,
both
Ranu
teams
ke
were
depan
just
bro.
gonna fight for this. That's a nice Petri fight.
Okay,
Into
one
Lord
open
JM
guys,
though.
lampu-lampu
James still gets to
depan.
dodge it nonetheless. That's a Thorn
Oh,
roll
mati
that
guys,
lands
Bendita
right
mati
into
dulu,
Lord
guys.
JM, and it's a two-man stun.
Padang
Combo
dapat guna.
Super Yoshi as well.
Yikes.
Ryzen definitely making things happen. Goes in
Ciao,
for the
mati.
double kill, and
Paisa
Shizo as
mati.
well tries to
Kimi mati
find
juga,
a
guys.
trade with the Blazing Duet, but that's
Ranu
gonna be
mati,
about
guys.
it.
Whoa.
James Pax barely surviving here, but he won't last up against 3.
Man, that was like watching a car crash in slow motion happening
Yeah.
in our faces.
No, I'll be honest here. I think
Salah sama
Shizu
badan
just wanted to
mati,
focus
bro.
on the farm, but I feel like he actually could have helped James
Ranu
Pax a
kebal.
little bit there. Although he did already use the Blazing Duet, and makes sense why he'd want to play it safe. At the end of it all, though,
Yeah,
AP Brand
depends on that
still
one,
get to walk away with a turtle. They didn't even need
Oh,
James Pax
Ranus
to
meta,
secure
guys,
it. So maybe
Meta
that
jungle,
raw
yeah.
sustain that they have through the Uranus jungle might just be one of the X factors that Omega need to watch out for. Because if you blow all your abilities at one go, yes, they got kills, yes, they got nice combos, but they still lost the objective at the end of the day.
So at the very end, like it's like your friend driving so fast, and you say you're complaining about it, but you know you didn't die.
Yeah, you
They got there in the end.
you got there in the end. You got where you needed to go.
It's about sustaining and just prolonging things.
Basically
for
catching
AP
all the
Bren.
skills, right? Because
Yeah.
catching all the skills is working for this Uranus, at least so far. I don't know what this is gonna look like later on.
That's
But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Bang, kok mukanya macam Roblox?
Right.
Oh
Okay,
ya.
and Ryzen here to rise up.
Hello.
Baru download
There's
nih,
the execution
pakai
also
Vista,
used
Vista.
as well. Aqua goes in for the stun.
Oh, mati guys,
And
na
they
slot.
find the outplay
Bang Benita.
onto Ryzen.
Yo, Ryzen's gonna end up on a highlight reel, but it's not for him.
Uranus guys, satu lang
Nasty,
tiga.
bro.
It's gonna be for Aqua. And there goes the
And
down
clock,
force.
clock.
Are they actually gonna be able to take down James Pax though?
Uranus guys.
Gets locked in by the fist
Mati
break.
na
This grab
Uranus,
might be an opening
Consecration?
here
Mati,
for Smart Omega. Still no! With the Dragon
Mas
Touch to
hidup,
Super
guys.
Yoshi.
Uranus,
Haji barely surviving as well, and it's only Netsky all alone here up top. It's
Gila, may satu lang
James
tiga.
Pax is still alive after that.
Call an ambulance, but not for him.
He was a punching bag, but he
James
really,
Pax
again,
kayaknya tak mati.
exactly like Redmar
Ito.
mentioned, literally absorbed everything.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the team just comes in and sweeps up everything.
Mati nih, guys,
Aqua's just
tarik,
so
tarik, mati
aggressive
nih.
as well. Look at the rotations coming in, but Netsky still surviving. Doesn't get
man.
to take down Shizu though. But
Tarik mati
okay,
guys, satu
now
lang
in this
tiga.
game I feel like it's
Wow, badang anti.
I can't even finish what I was
Benita
saying.
yung mati guys.
Surprise!
But I feel like in this game it's
Surprise.
Aqua and Lord JM who's like working hand in hand.
It's so good. Aqua just arrives right at the when he's needed, right? He just arrives
Badang
when
OP
you need
bang.
a farsa right there.
Yeah,
A
badang OP
wizard is
niya.
never
May robot.
late. He arrives just when he is needed. Pretty sure I butchered that quote, but you guys know what I
Badang
mean.
dengan sama
That's right,
cawan,
from
cawan.
a very
Why?
famous movie and a book.
Mati ni Kimi.
Star Wars.
AP
Exactly.
Okay, let's see if they can pull off another crazy play here.
Wow, okay, fights
What?
happening all over the map!
Oh,
and James
Uranus
Pax
dapat
still
tetap.
finds the last hit. Now, Shizo, once they saw him join the fight as well, Smart Omega had no other choice but to disengage, and James
Ay,
Pax is just
sabi niya,
constantly
Uranus
trying to
naman.
disturb Ryzen.
Oh man,
And
come
it's him
on.
who
Uranus
gets
dapat,
the
guys,
last hit here too!
Yeah, both of them use their retributions for the turtle, so he saved this ionic edge to take it. James Pax, what are you on? The growth of this young man. From a very disappointing debut season in Season 15,
Apalagi
he has
Fibra
been
menang aja
stellar
nih.
this series.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's like watching some masters in motion here. Watching some people paint. Someone painting so well. James Pax in the face of Omega,
Kalau
who
dia dapat
seemed to be
turtle, dia
struggling
menang
to
ya.
breathe.
Here
Turtle
goes
kali
again.
kedua.
I mean, I know people would have preferred James Pax on the Assassin, but I'm enjoying this as well.
Nice. This is nice.
This is okay. Like it's not as passive as
Gila,
we
may
would
James.
expect it to
Bahaya
be,
ni James.
considering that it's
Like
James
Uranus,
Pax. And
Kaya
they're
binitalo
all
ng
working
slot.
together to pull off the entire idea from the very beginning of like just fast clears and rotations and invades of fast
Alhamdulillah.
rotating
Yeah.
heroes in the Benedetta and the Farsa.
Yeah, it's a
good.
different kind of
She's
madness. I
surviving.
think straight up, AP Brenner are also just outplaying and playing better than Omega, individually and as a team. Because Omega's gotten outplayed multiple times.
Oh, that's another way of the dragon
Oh,
onto
oh,
James.
ada
He
wall,
taps the
guys.
hero. Still has the flicker, but the veteran airstrike will be able to take him down. Haji has victory position as well. He's very low,
Look
but
at him.
there's another Salmon Force
Mati,
used by
guys.
Nevsky just to
Fav
get
Lagu.
away. They're trying to defend this tier 1 in mid as much as they can.
Ouch.
But AP Bren, they're just
Oh.
constantly looking for fights.
Very happy, and James Pounce is just walking in front. Lord
Di
JM
matuto,
hunting
guys,
people
corner.
down and forcing them to maybe basically run
Di
for their
matuto,
lives
that's
here,
not-
but not really doing anything to hurt them.
The fact that AP Brand is making it work, how they're making it work, is a testament to how well
Pinatay niya, big
they're
bumper.
executing it. With just how good they are overall.
Whoa.
The Lancelot is struggling. Aqua,
A little bit of
Uranus
flex
dapat
there.
tatag, guys.
back and forth. AP Brand are just really freaking good right now.
Yep, Lord
Top
JM.
lane, top lane.
Ah, there's another fight.
Mati, sorry.
Nevsky! He almost got something, but it still wasn't enough. Shizo still survives, not even using the Purify. And Lord JM now, he's just doing such a great job at managing all other sides of the map. The stun doesn't land on James or on Aqua.
Si
rather.
Zoy tak mati
He
lagi.
can't even walk out of the tower now.
Yeah, this Uranus only
Romantic
has
is
what?
Shizo.
A Dreadnought armor and a Radiant armor? That's it?
Whoa, whoa.
Really doing the
And
job.
this is what he's
Claudio.
doing?
Look at them. Haji right in front, just... What
Eh?
is he doing? He's not even doing damage, bro!
You can't
Not
even
the
feel
damage,
the
guys.
damage just yet. Ryzen all alone
Uranus ka ba,
up
guys?
against Aqua, X Nova, and James
Ano
Pax
dyan,
will
pants
just
ka ni Bayo,
decide
guys,
to puncture away.
That's nuts. And the
Dapat
fact that
ako,
Lord
guys.
JM also went for Blade of the Heptases and Sea Halberd.
Eh, benita lang na
Assassin
sila
type.
ni guys.
Yeah, pure assassin damage. Fast basic attacks.
Has an orange buff.
He has an orange buff.
What are you doing with the orange buff, man?
Bro, this AP Brand lineup is disgusting. And they are, again, it's
Whoa.
not just, no way.
Mati lang sila.
No way!
Oh,
That
Lancelot
was
na.
close. That was close.
Not gonna happen twice in one game.
Yeah. Ryzen redeemed himself. He got a highlight.
Just
for
when you were
himself.
talking him up
Let's
as
look
well.
one by one,
Just when
guys.
you were talking
Let's,
JM up. He does that. Very, at this point, it's very classic now.
Oh.
But it
Do
is
something
what it
good,
is.
do something bad. Do something good, do something
There's
bad.
a pattern.
Mr. 50-50.
Fitty Fitty. Your new nickname is Fitty Fitty. Wait, sorry.
Okay.
Here we go, though.
Here we go again. They
Oh,
find
yeah.
another kick. It's Super Yoshi the catch who's taking
Ryzen.
down Ryzen. Phantom execution,
Oh,
but still
Uranus,
gets
oh,
chased
oh,
by James
oh,
Pack.
damage na.
Thorngrow's
Oh,
already
sorry.
committed. There's the Salmon Force as well.
Uranus na
But
tama.
they're still not able to take down the Uranus.
Urano damage.
How?
I mean, how? Yeah.
How? Di ta
How do you
mati.
even take him down? The Radiant Armor and the Caress is really working well for him,
Yeah.
especially against the Harif and the Kimmy.
I mean, it answers the two main damage profiles of Omega. Skill-based
Uranus
physical
siya.
and continuous magic. If he,
Kapal
once he
eh.
builds up maybe like an Oracle or an Athena's Shield, you're not taking that down.
Look at
Hey,
Nova.
Chow.
They don't have the Flicker
Chow
for X Nova,
tandang.
but they don't need it. Ryzen will make his
Eh.
way to the objective, but will
Wala
he be able to
na.
secure
Ryzen,
the
guys.
team? Gets to kill Shizo. Nevsky
Shizo.
as well, dealing
Sama
with
naman
damage.
lang eh.
Lord JM just goes in
Oh,
for the
Rano
double
na
kill.
pala.
The Lord is secured by AP Bread, and James Pax picks up Nevsky as well. Only Ryzen is left alone.
Yeah, man, Netsky could not
Dapat
play.
niya
I felt
pibrem
bad
lang, guys.
watching him play around this and
Yeah.
trying to find an opening,
Tujuh,
not
13
being given at all.
Also have to commend the initiation there by X-Nova. It was perfect. The conceal, the angle. They had the vision and the info on Lord JM, and he was just able to find it. He made that look easy. He's absorbing minion waves. This AP Brent team is exciting, folks.
Not been this excited about an AP Brent team in a while. They are on the road to a 2-0 here against Omega, who really dominated yesterday as well.
Well, was that a Sea Halberd?
What a
But
kick!
wait! Another kick
Whoa,
onto Ryzen.
aduwa,
So
aduwa.
Lord JM
Bensana,
gets punished,
bensana.
however, and Super Yoshi finds the fist break fist grab onto James Pax. Finally
Omega
taking
na.
him down after so long.
Why is it when I say something good about a team, something bad happens?
You just talk him up and then they hear it, and then everything just falls apart.
This is what
Ah,
they
yun
call
yung
the
isa.
capture course, I
Happy
guess.
Shizu.
Another potential kill,
So
but
close.
Shizu gets to dodge it. Oh my goodness.
Right.
Should we not say anything?
Maybe we should just, not talk for like 10 minutes and so this game just cuts over. But yeah.
Somewhere I hear LaFell just going, Renmar, just shut up. Like, you know what?
Shut up,
Okay,
man.
bro, I get it. I get it.
It just happens.
I miss you, LaFell. Hopefully you hear this.
Oh my goodness. It
Ano
was
guys, ha?
going so well, now the lead's like 2K, 2.9K.
It's basically gone. Basically gone,
It's
right?
gone. Was that a shutdown that they got even? It was on, I think you could consider it to be one, for sure. But right now, I feel like we shouldn't be paying much attention to the goal disparities anymore because like they've caught up.
Man, Assassin Benedetta, man. It's scary.
Yeah, it's also still important to look at the items. So it's BOD, full damage build for the Benedetta, Athena Shield, BFB, Fury Hammer for the Lapu Lapu. If you look at the Claude, he actually went for the Winter Crown so that if he ever decides to go in, well, with the Blazing Duet, because of the raw damage that Omega can actually push out now, he can just stand there, Blazing Duet, and it's not going to get cancelled. So he's still doing his job, doing his damage, and providing a zone for Omega to be wary of.
Don't be mad, Jim. I feel like Tank Benedetta would work better for you.
Nah, man. That doesn't fly with Mr. 50-50.
I know, man. Mr. 50-50.
I like it.
Oh, man. It's a good thing, guys. It's a good thing. Because way back then, don't be mad as well, there was like a nickname for Lord JM internally. We're not going to say that, obviously, here.
Okay,
But it's a lot better. That one's a lot better for
Yeah, I like it. That's exciting because it's
exciting.
Is it heads or tails? You don't know where it's gonna land.
And
Gets people going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, gets the people going. No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's provocative.
Look at that. He has 4 kills and what? 4 deaths.
You're right.
Yeah. No, trust me. Okay, the last sequence was what? A Lord JM fail. The next one's gonna be a success.
Okay.
He's gonna get a big petrify, electrify no blow. I'm gonna call it now.
Okay. Let's see if that happens.
Let's look for that.
Yeah, for now,
Okay,
they're paying a lot of attention to the long lanes. I can't believe he's standing there.
Doing very good zoning.
All alone. Okay. Purify already forced out. That's what we were mentioning. So that's a big resource down for AB Bread right before the objective. Fighter and Jake looking for Aqua. Now they know that he doesn't have the Purify nor the Wings by Wing. That's why they go for the split. But that's the Wings and Dragons. Will they have enough damage to deal with the kill though? Turn Crown gets taken down. Ryzen right after the Blazing Duet. Everything is going sideways now for AP Bread. Ryzen has an eye to James Banks and just in the blink of an eye.
One man on a mission, James.
Oh, man.
Bravest fighter Flicker. He didn't care about James Banks. He just wanted Aqua. And it was the right target, and AP Brand were forced to react.
Omega menang, guys.
Shiza was also not in the best place possible. He did use the Winter Crown play, but it just happened way too fast for AP Brand to adjust in the right way. And Omega, what a play. James Wick. A man on a mission!
James Wick. That is perfect. He literally ignored everyone. He passed by like 2 AP Bread members on the way to Aqua.
That is sheer freaking will.
That could not have happened if Aqua wasn't there.
That's true. He definitely flexed so hard. He used his Purify very early on, and James just knew what needed to be done.
Yeah, now they're finding the openings. Conceal already used though by Smart Omega. Traction pulls as well. Ryzen makes his way to Aqua once again. Forces out the Wings by Wings. But they will have plenty of time to at least focus on taking down the Lord. But Smart Omega take down the mid lane base turret already.
Man, they are going to be scratching their heads so hard if they lose this one out just because of that one thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was a massive deal. Other than Lord JM and Shizu, of course, the raw magic damage first that comes out for the Farsa is actually one of the biggest problems for Omega for multiple sequences. And the fact that James was able to find that one out, and exactly, I don't even know if Omega knew just how out of position AP Bren were because of how deep Shizu actually was. And you can't blame Shizu being there. They were setting up their formation. No way in hell you're going to expect James to just say, hey, can we just go for this? And it was the perfect target too.
Yeah, they're going to have to look for their targets here as we are heading to a point where it is Omega finally making some plays here and making themselves heard or known on the map.
Oh, they're trying to burst out James
Uranus mati guys.
James will end the Winter Crowns, but will Ryzen find the kill that they need? It seems like Smart Omega might actually make it happen. They take down Aqua and Dex Nova. The mid duo of AP Brand are gone.
James with a massive 2-man stun again. The ultimate fighter showing up to work.
And there you go, Lord James just evaporated to Netsky. I don't think
Omega
that
menang,
anything
guys.
to do against this 4-man of Omega
Omega
right
OP
now.
comeback, guys.
Execution is James Pax trying his best.
Omega OP
They
comeback.
get to take down Ryzen, but they gain access to the base. And it seems like it's happening. We are actually going to a game number 3.
Omega menang.
That was impressive. That was just out of nowhere, and that's the
Eh,
Omega.
guys.
We are
Satu sama.
seeing in our eyes a big throwback to
Siapa menang, guys?
Teamwork.
Aduh, duduk kuat ni.
They call the EXP later of Omega the
FPV lain sama
ultimate
Omega
fighter.
duduk kuat ni.
And with 2 massive bravest fighters catching Aqua and the key targets of AB Brand at the right time, just when no one expected that to happen, James deserves that MVP. I will claim that now.
Yeah, definitely. We saw
Aku
this
setuju, guys.
yesterday,
James,
and we saw
dia
it
MVP,
again
guys, ya.
today.
Uranus tu gila.
James acting and doing it when it needed to be done.
He just ran after
Yeah.
Aqua. So,
Yeah.
okay, he doesn't have to make my wings, he doesn't have to
I
purify.
don't care anymore. Ah!
And I mean, to be fair, Ryzen, he was very reliable in that particular sequence. He was able to catch up, he was able to deal
Ryzen.
the right amount of
MVP.
damage. And yeah, we mentioned him too.
Yeah,
Like,
let's
they
not,
both
Ryzen.
worked hand in hand for that kill though.
Yeah, Renmar looks very, very
Let's not,
disappointed here.
Ryzen
But
naman.
at the same time,
5-2-8. It's an impressive KDA. 81% kill
5-2-8.
participation, 863 gold per minute.
Apa, guys?
Yes.
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 Let's just say yes.
Well
Damage deal,
deserved.
bro.
Yeah.
Because the Lancelot also had a hard time. He was having a
KP
difficult
apa, guys?
game, and
SP.
despite all of that, he only died twice.
Not
Oh
bad.
yeah.
And because he was also one of the main
The
burst
damage
damage dealers that Omega were able to work with, they needed that.
Guys.
Oh,
Well
yeah.
deserved.
Rana
that.
damage
This
ka
is
pa
a
sa
highlight. This is a
There you go. He has a
highlight.
highlight reel. Renmar. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
And
MVP
as
highlight.
Renmar mentioned, it's commendable how he found his way back in this game, even after being invaded for so many times in the early game. Like,
I basically had 0 buffs
He-
for like a
Yeah.
good solid few minutes.
he was a target for like the majority of the early to mid portions of the game by AP Bren. I feel like he had to make so many things happen just for his other teammates to scale the way they did. Oh, this was the moment they were able to take down Aqua, by the way.
See, again, it was just the perfect timing. I don't even know if
I think
Omega
so.
knew just how off position AP Brand was because of how deep. Eventually, James was able to easily access the formation and find Aqua. It was a tremendous performance by Omega to crawl that out. They needed to find something.
Hari ni
Instead of just
GG,
looking
guys,
for it, they
Sabi
made
bakit
it happen.
GG?
Not just James, but the team together.
Hari ni GG ni.
That was absolutely one of the
Had it
craziest
some,
comebacks
Ryzen
we've
eh,
seen
that's
so far in the season. At the very least, it looked like AP Brand had
Easy
a
melee,
really good
game
grasp of the early until Omega found an opening and just did not let go.
Yeah, when Netsky had a lot of damage to dish out already on
16
the
minute,
Harry,
guys. Satu sama
I
ni.
think we
16
couldn't
score,
feel
16
our
score.
JM as much anymore. I
Yeah.
think we could start feeling James Pax, get shredded down a lot more faster than he used to in the first
Yeah.
few
Sizaw,
minutes.
sizaw kalah, guys.
Yeah,
Don't have it.
it was an awkward spot for AP Bren. I
game
feel
na
like
menang.
that was
I will
what they were
game
trying
na
to
menang.
avoid, which is why they were trying to pick up the pace so much.
Yeah.
They didn't want the
Too
game
much
to
comment
drag
dulu,
out that
guys.
long because Netsky definitely was going to be a
Ayaw,
problem, but it
comment.
did. So, yeah, it was clearly favoring Omega once it
China number
went
1.
on to the late game.
Yeah, because eventually once Nesky
Guys,
was able to
China-
back in the
China
items, he still
no-
ended up the game 7-3 and 4,
one
even
can
in the
beat
kills
China.
across the board. But then as it goes on, you do reach a
Wow,
fall
did I
off
fight
point
for
with that
China,
Uranus. And
let's
yes,
go play
for a good
China
amount of the game, it felt like
Mobile
James Banks was nigh unstoppable. He was just
China
recovering through a
number
lot of the
one.
damage that
Let's
Omega
play
were
China
dishing
Mobile
out.
Legends.
But then it will fall off because when the burst is too much to
FPL
handle and
lost
you're
because
brought low,
they're so
then
cocky.
one of our issues about the Uranus
Oh,
at
satu
the end of the
sama,
draft
guys.
comes to light. What then do you do if you just can't be a sponge anymore? How then do you help the team if
Masa
you're
ada tahu
dying
lah,
so
dapat
quickly?
pipirin ka lang.
And in the key moments there in the end, James Banks really started to feel it that AP Brand didn't have time to
Katanya
help James
James
Banks
Banks
to
ka
deal
dengan
the
Aqua
damage
ni.
because of the raw
Terlalu
burst that was
mega
already
pa,
getting dished out by the
Kenapa?
Harith and even the Lancelot.
That's true. And basically, right before the draft
Mosquito
started, we
Shabao.
mentioned that, right? They were an
China
in and
number
out
one,
kind of
Omega.
lineup where you had to do the damage, you had to soak up the damage, then you
Aduh,
go out,
recovery niya,
then you
juga
regen,
na.
you go
China
back in. That's basically what
number
Uranus
one
does.
for
But what
making
happens when
virus.
Omega doesn't let you go out anymore? And then we got our answer. Apparently, this is just disaster overall for AP Brand. BPI Rich Guy here is going to be Ryzen. That's probably where he got a lot of that MVP stats from. He did get 806 free GPM as well in this game. James definitely carried it really hard in the damage taking department, but again, that's just not enough in the late game.
That's interesting though. Like, for him to get this much GPM despite that kind of early game.
Despite getting invaded over and over again.
That also came from the fact that because of the aggression that AP Brand was showing in some key areas in the map, you would find Ryzen just finding farm elsewhere. And then of course you do get to that point where, okay, if you're falling behind, you will reach an apex of like, hey, suddenly my GPM is so high because you're farming in the later portions of the game. Around like 8 to 12 minutes, you're just looking for good farm and chunks of it through high value.
Even if you like stop it, it still lands a lot. You know? But for the meantime, again, we are gonna give you a lot more, especially with more data. More GG.
Here's the winning power of Smart's Only 5G and enjoy it with the Smart Digital Prepaid eSIM.
Yeah, Smart is simply the reliable telco partner of the MPL. Victories.
I know that people get the proper use of GG now. A lot of people say GG when they're like losing. You guys forget it's good game. They say GG when we we're losing. Oh, this is GG already. It's technically a BG for you, but either way, it's very nice that we have proper use of GG now. It's good game. Either way, we are going into game number 3, which I honestly did not expect. This one, I thought AP Brent had that in the bag. They had what, 7K gold before that thing with the Uranus started. That was crazy.
We were making a joke about how are they actually going to find a way to take main fans down, and you suggesting, I think when you suggested Lord JM to go tank build,
that might have been the right
maybe
call.
That might have been.
No, I think they did not have room to put the tank build on that Benedetta. They were playing around the Uranus. He's just pure tank. Yeah, they needed actual damage there. But even then, the entries of the Benedetta would struggle. Because there were moments where it's like, okay, we found a good Petrify, but can he actually get the Electo final blow off in time before he gets bursted down to smithereens? Which there were some moments there where the answer was no, he just wasn't able to get that Electo final blow off, because at that point there was so much damage in the profile of Smart Omega that no matter how good Lord JM timed this entry, it was still a very small window of success to make it work. So eventually still it ended up becoming such a difficult game for the Benedetta.
I can't help but think of what could have happened if it was a Uranus XP.
Sama guys, Omega satu,
if
PBL
Max
satu.
did go for a different jungler, but
Kok kayak na PBL boleh menang tadi. Tapi tak tahu lah kenapa.
unless they went for assassin
Position kalah ke apa.
or something.
Tapi ambil guys.
But even then,
Omega.
even
China
then,
weak
They
in
just
any
might lack out on
spot
damage.
prestige.
That's like the biggest problem here. And then the what Lord JM does as well is like absorbing something.
Tofu shit.
Yeah.
You can basically nullify a lot of the hits by, you know, because of Bendetta's built-in like dodge mechanic,
And then it
iframes,
says
right?
halal.
But again, imagine if it was like a purely a damage-dealing assassin that might have.
Kalau dekat China tu game ni guys,
I
Honor of King
there are
Paling
a lot
besar
of
tu.
things that
Kamu Mobile Legends
a bit
tak
different.
main.
I mean, it's not
Kalau
like
dekat China.
AP Brand played it wrong.
Ano, Honor of
Because
King
for
tu game paling
a
awal
huge portion of the game, it was
Daripada
clearly
Mobile
them
Legends.
winning
They were winning.
out.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like
Tapi untuk tahun
some
ni
sort of
Honor of King baru keluarkan.
similar to what we saw from the
Solos
game
pun dah
1.
main,
Like
Penjat pun
when
dah
the
main.
hesitation shows up, when
Banyak Honor
you're
of
trying to
King
close it
mungkin akan
out,
trending
then it
dari
can
Mobile Legends
really
lah
get
rasanya.
created back. So
Bagi Mobile Legends pun
And
dah.
again, clearly, it's
That's
a
what I
testament to
would
how well
have
Omega just decided, you know what,
mas
nothing's
trending,
been
Mobile
happening
Legends.
for us.
Yeah.
We need to make something happen.
Cuma
And they
dekat
did.
China
At the
tak
right
trending
time,
guys, Mobile
exactly
Legends.
when they
Tak tahu
needed it
kenapa.
to. That could have also gone
Idiot.
completely the different way.
Malaysia,
Where in
Apple,
Omega,
Flash.
okay, they found Aqua, but then suddenly they're sandwiched, they're
China
not ready for the
living
entry of the
by
Claude.
1,900.
X-Nova found maybe a better target for the
1,900
kick.
masih.
And then suddenly it's AP Brand that we're praising, and they go on to win the series 2-0. But that's not what happened. It was Omega who found the right time. The stars aligned for Omega as well. It's a mix of that great effort and even better luck.
Guys, pak tu apa
Some
guys?
fans of the
Pinoy
Bagong
no
Barangay
money.
might even
The bagong
the bagong barangay might feel
Yeah,
a bit of
Google
throwback
it
to the
a bit.
bagong barangay because like the timers in that game,
Oh
it
yeah.
was similar to the Omega timers which were happening like way back. But this is different. Like this is completely different from them.
Makanan guys.
It's, I guess both that
Habo
and
atau
again
benda
AP
kotor
Bren.
bersama
In the late
baju.
game decision making maybe that could do a bit of improvement.
Story of the season there for AP Bren. Like,
Pak,
all
pak.
right, you're getting some good leads, then you're not able to close out the game. That
Baju
sounds very
kotor atau baju
familiar to
berambut
me
dimakan, apa
from
tu maksudnya?
again the rookie year.
Yeah.
Pak, pak.
Sorry, rookie season. But then again,
Pak,
does give me a lot of like hope for this lineup as well, where we're seeing very good angles from X-Nova. It's really fun
Mungkin lah,
because
Brand
very early on you
dropnya
see X-Nova
kuat guys,
angling
kalah.
behind the enemy, then as the late
Betul
game
lah,
he's like
dia
angling
punya
towards
rotation ni.
like the angles are getting worse and worse progressively. Maybe because of the lack of confidence, but at the same
Pinoy
time
no money.
you have to remember this is his first series. Technically his first MPL series here.
Yeah.
So
Give you
I think overall though, I
Omega
really liked how X-Nova performed there. So far in the series, I've really liked what
Me too,
X-Nova has
yeah.
shown off.
Mungkin kalau AP Brand lama,
Misangled kicks, just I think.
mungkin
just
lah
have to
boleh
decide.
menang
late
lawan
game.
Omega.
Yeah, super late game, he was
Tapi
forced
tak
to
tahu, guys,
react, and maybe
X-Nova
yeah,
yang
those are
lama
the
tu
things that
aku-
you need to work on. A little bit more
Jangan
of that
tengok Tournament ni
composure
first time,
once
betul.
things start not going your
Guys,
way
ni
in the
first time
latter
aku
portions of the
tournament.
game, because as the game extends in MLBB,
Nama player pun tak
the
tahu siapa
more
jadi.
the
Aku pun belajar ni.
requirement of
Shizao,
perfect
Shizao,
execution
siapa
becomes a
nak
reality.
True.
Where you need,
Pro
maybe not
matchman.
all the time perfect, but just near perfect execution where the right
MJ,
angle, the
Happy
right
Burger,
time, because one little slip up means at that point, the late game damage carries
Yeah.
have all the tools in the world to just
Ne?
Completely turn a sequence that goes
Tournamentnya
wrong
berapa lama
around.
ni?
especially with the Cho, right? Like at the late game with the Cho, you angle it wrong, it's like
Udah
instantly
1
dead.
jam ya?
This is
1
how
jam.
scary the opponent's items are. They're already maxed
Udah 2
out,
jam,
they're
guys.
already beefing,
Lama
ready to
juga
go.
ni.
So yeah, you're right. Execution in the late game does favor
Guys, ini nak live stream
those
sampai
who have higher mechanics and have
sampai
better,
ada pemenangnya
more
ke
conviction
atau
to go for the play.
Yeah, because I feel like even in the
lagi satu lah.
moments where it was clearly AP Bren
ini lama
winning
ke
out,
live
it's
stream
not
dia,
like
Mobile Legends ni.
Smart Omega were holding back
Nanti
as
ada team
much.
dispute lagi.
It's like they were still trying to fight as much as they can. I
Pinoy
do
ko,
recall
China
Netsky always using the Zaman Force
Moskov out to win. Yeah, Shizao pakai Moskov guys.
fight. It's not like they're just always
8-1
running away.
dia.
They're
Yeah.
trying to avoid AP Bren
China
whenever they're trying to
plastic.
look for an engage or start things up. It's just that they
Apa ni komen
they
China eat plastic
I
China
realize it's not
virus.
enough yet, but
I
it's not
say
like
more autistic
they've completely
Pinoy.
given up on being able to find a way to fight back against AP Brand. So I think that's another
Memang
really
ada
commendable
Mobile
thing we're
Legends
seeing from
China
Omega.
masuk guys, tournament.
It's not the same
China?
as the Omega
China.
timers. It's different. It's
So aku
I
punya
don't
ada
know, like, just
Malaysia,
literally holding on.
Indonesia.
and acknowledging the fact that there will come a time that they can fight back. And
Kat China tak pernah nampak lah.
it's something along those lines. It's just that very hopeful
Indonesia
idea that we
sebut-
feel from this bagong
Katanya Indonesia semua
Bago
budak-budak
Bago
guys.
definitely
Bocah-bocah
shows a
ada.
different kind of like spiciness. Where maybe they pop up when you least expect them. But here we go for draft.
Okay,
game number
draft
3.
Ben guys ah.
Very similar drafts from the previous
Kita
game.
zoom dulu guys.
So Smart Omega's back in the red side for this game. Wondering what AP Bren might want to prioritize this time
May
around.
last guys ah.
I feel like the blue side has been such a great
Atau ni
side for
ada lagi
majority of
nanti.
the teams.
Tournamentnya
Really.
match
Still hasn't
game
changed
3.
as much. So, what are they gonna
Yang ni
open
last
here?
ah.
Is it gonna be the
Last ah. Last
Baksha
ah.
Arlot that they're gonna
Tapi
back
Bren lawan
out?
Omega lagi guys.
Well, we did
Round
see like a
3.
usage of the R-Lot previously, so they might want to maybe first pick that for Lord James as well. Maybe have a take 2 here. But then again, that was the game that they lost. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Coach Jeff is going to be confident to allow Lord JM to maybe take a swing at it, as I say.
Yeah, it seems like they're really
Dari
thinking
guys,
hard about what this band is gonna be. So there goes the Baksha. That leaves the Arlot, the Lancelot open for them. Oh! Wait, they actually open up the Lance for AP Bren instead.
Yeah, that's a different story right there.
James Vance will end up with a comfort if that happens. Yeah, they don't hesitate. They go ahead and rush it. Omega giving a Lancelot means that they are most likely going to be drafting a lineup that will answer that Lancelot, that want tempo, that want to go fast, and that's how you get it. You pick up a Cho, then you pick up a Farsa. Remember, X-Nova, comfort on the Cho as well, but Super Yoshi is also very comfortable with this.
Careful, speed niya Lancelot guys, Happy Brand.
If you don't have the Kai, just basically just kick it.
Omega, pakai Chow, sama
Are we gonna see a
Pasha.
similar trend to what happened earlier? Because I feel like
Hero
if
Ben sama
they
guys,
decide
sudah
to
ada Pasha,
reveal another
Province.
Kai, it's not gonna be that big of a surprise anymore because you already know what their jungler is gonna be.
Ano,
So it's not
Province
gonna be a
hero niya
flex
Kabal,
option. But the
Kabal,
Fanny
Polymathe.
option for Smart Omega is still there too.
Tapi kalau
And I feel
Arlot,
like if it's clearly an
Jarang
assassin
jumpa lah,
matchup in
Arlot
the
jarang
jungle,
jumpa.
then they're gonna be
Kecuali
fine with
orang
that,
atas
also
lah,
knowing
Mythic
that the
Glory
Cho
tu
is in
Arlot
their
jarang
hands. So
Tapi
will
kalau
AP
Basia,
Bridge try to
Tonoman
anticipate
guys,
that
aku
heading
pakai.
into this part of the draft? They go for
Aris
Harris
Selena.
Selena.
Alright.
Okay.
It's like a very long
Aqua
time
pakai
since I
Selena,
saw
guys.
Aqua pick up a Selena.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like how
Le
going out
stand
against
guys.
the trend of what we
Le,
usually
le,
see
le.
in game number 3s of teams being a little bit more careful, being conservative. They're just both going all
Ayaw
out
siya.
here. You
Raisin.
both have two lineups that are centered around winning priority in the mid lane through sheer aggression and vision, and with how fast you can rotate around the map to supplement damage-heavy cores. And I'm not talking about just the jungle, I'm talking about core damage dealers. It's the Harith and the Lancelot for AP Brand. It's the Farsa and the Hayabusa for Omega. The fact that they're showing off their cards this early means one of them, or maybe both of them, are looking for surprises and wins through the EXP lane.
Actually, the
Ada
CC is still there.
Yeah,
The
you have to get CC out, you have
Yeah.
to get Hilda out.
Sure.
Lapu's still there too.
Yeah, that too.
There's always gonna be the threat of that Hilda just hunting down this Lancelot as well over and over again. So I don't know if they're gonna let that go through here. Definitely want to see a CC or a Hilda ban.
Yeah. I mean, if it were me, since I have the Farsa, and if I want the Farsa to have an easier time, yeah, that the Gatot or the Lapu would be a great choice for bans. So they go for the Gatot Kacha. I mean, it's Smart Omega picking first after the banning phase anyway. So if they want to pick it up for themselves, that wouldn't be so bad too. But AP Bren, are they taking out another gold lane?
They actually might be just forced to
Siapa
trade
menang nih,
here
guys?
on
Happy
the
Brand atau Omega.
both of them
Ah,
still have high presence or high usage of Beatrix.
Happy Brand.
Can still be here. Shizu obviously has had a lot of reps on that hero as well.
Why are we not seeing as much Granger?
Tapi ada yang susah ni, susah
But
ni.
that's true. This whole series, I don't remember if yesterday I saw
Gatot
it too.
defense sama
They banned
Kagak.
out even the Bruno instead of that. So that leaves the
Moscow
Beatrix you
ban.
mentioned, the Ranger, if
Moscow's-
they do want to pick it up. Moscow's banned also.
banned as well. So wow, we're getting forced into a weird
Maybe,
Shizu
territory.
pagkalat
maybe we
guys.
see it here.
Kanina.
Maybe, because like the Granger Farsa, that's like a proven and tested combination as well. For like range-wise, but the thing is, AP Bren, they have so many ways to reach you.
There it is.
Okay, so there you go. There's the Granger.
Trying to fight from downtown is basically what's happening here for AP Brand.
Ringa guys.
So the
James pakai James.
wait, so what's the XP gonna be for AP
Ringa.
Bren?
Definitely, we're looking for the CC here
Golden,
somewhere. I don't know
Golden,
if they
guys.
want to. They probably don't care about the Hilda at this point.
Ringa Lon Hari.
Uh,
Aduh,
yeah,
lupa
Uranus is
guys. Tapi
also,
guys,
I would
Ringa
not
macam
put it
na.
past
Lon
them
Hari.
to pick it up. Although Uranus does kind of.
Or the Lapu just. But
Oh, it's still Lapu? Still a Lapu game?
Sama guys.
Yeah,
Still
Nova.
there's a Farsa Granger on the other
It's
side.
kind of easy to pick that up, I guess.
Kasi
Either
lapu-lapu
of these
guys.
two teams might even show up a Badang at some point.
Lapu-lapu
For the
atau
Rome, you go high loss
High
for
loss is
AP
great.
Brand.
Yeah.
End of one
Reynolds.
thing is the beginning of another.
That's
Isme.
Esmeralda.
We're looking for that voice line. Kufra coming
Kufra.
in here for
Great.
X-Nova.
All right.
Alright.
So I think that's confirmed. Based off of
Okay,
the drafts yesterday
counternya
as
yung
well,
busa guys,
that
Kufa.
Kufro definitely
Gringo.
is back as one of the top options that you
Pasha
can
one
go
double
for.
counter.
Not
Chow
gonna
one
be one of the S tier priorities, but
Definitely.
it's like right next there.
Yeah.
in the next
Guys,
tier
aku
of,
dapat
heroes
rasakan
to go
Happy
for.
Brand menang ni.
And the fact that they pick up an Esmeralda means they're also thinking of the
Kufra
possibility
counter
that
ni,
a Hilda could come in from
counter
Omega. Honestly, if I'm Omega, even consider an Edith in the EXP lane, though it
Tapi kalau
does really not do
Ismail,
much against the Esmeralda in lane. But in the big picture, that just means
Ismail
that you
also
just
got
send the Farsa and Chomor to the EXP lane. Or the CC, since it's still there, and a good curtain call will mess up the initiation that AP Baron wants to do. Blue also really good considering that you're up against Harith and the Selena as well. There's a lot of targets that you can go for that can get easily displaced, and you mess up a
Blue
formation
counter
around the
Harith,
lineup that
sama
wants to play around the
Ismail.
Zaman force of the Harith.
Yeah, I love this glue right here as well. If you went Lapu here, that might have been trouble because you will definitely not last against the line of AP Bren here. But man, oh man, we're
Okay.
finally gonna see a fight here. I
Jom kita
expect very
tengok, let's
early
go.
fights.
Siapa menang ya?
Esmeralda
Happy Brand
got
atau
picked
Omega,
up.
guys?
It was
Last
a
game ni.
surprise, but it made your opponents think twice. Like about what XP later you'd want to pick up, because we did mention like Edith and the Lapu Lapu, but both of those heroes are shield generating heroes that might make things a bit more better for the Esmeralda laning wise. So Super Yoshi just came off a Kufra game yesterday, but now he is gonna go up against it. The Kufra so far, it's fun to see them back. The entire idea of having a surprise setup come in.
Welcome
Just isn't
to
gonna work.
Mobile
Yeah,
Legends.
it's basically fun, but
One
also
bandage.
can work in very, very specific situations. Let's find out if that's going to be the case here in game number 3 with Omega coming in with Super Yoshi on a very Yaoi-esque. Let's see. So Nova X Nova obviously is going to take a long time. He's absorbing so much damage as well.
Oh, let's go guys.
Oh, man.
First blood.
Super Yoshi.
Oh man!
Yikes.
Oh,
Can he
man,
run away
ciao.
from this?
Alright,
Doesn't
no,
give
no,
the
no.
flicker. Okay, he's safe.
I think that deep chase also.
Look at Nova.
Nova.
Yes. Oh, Kufra.
Ah!
What a read by
Oh.
X-Nova. Did not want to let go of that play, but now it looks like it might be a
Aku
trade
dah
between
kata
the
ya.
two roamers.
Okay, Netski, if he gets this
Oh,
kill,
Fav
that's gonna be
Aduh.
massive.
Ayaw
Doesn't get it,
busa.
but still has an assist though. It goes into the
Ayaw.
hands of Ryzen
Ay,
instead.
busa bunuh ni.
So
Kufra.
I think they're somehow able to spread out like the resources
Yeah,
still,
may Kufra
one way or
na.
another.
Skill
And it's
satu
a
langsung
roamer
flicker.
that's taken down for Smart Omega. Might not
at
be
this.
that
GG,
much of a
GG.
big thing. This could be massive though if Aqua gets the kill.
Oh,
But Super
Selena mati,
Yoshi
Selena.
will be here to provide some support.
Selena mati, guys.
Wait, just a pixel, but X-Nova here will also be forced to flicker out.
Yeah, I think all of the trades that we've seen so far
So
in the
the
center of
90
the
block
map
is
just
how
goes to show, it confirms what we were thinking about the drafts of these two teams. Like, they don't want to play passive. They both want to be incredibly proactive, be aggressive. And I'm not going to knock it. As long as they are checking their conditions, they're both trading. We're seeing some good mechanical plays. I like this.
Yeah, we did see.
Total, guys.
I mean,
Total dah nak
you could
kuat ni.
tell it very
Wild
early on,
total.
even before the game started, it was going to be messy at the very low stage of the game. Look at this. They're not actually done yet.
Oh, they're layering their skills so well. Super Yoshi gets to dodge it though. Phantom Execution
Yeah,
gets
total
dodged by
man, dia dah
Hachi
keluar ni.
as well. And they will be the ones to pick up a kill on X-Nova
Kufanya mati
instead.
lagi, guys.
That's right before the objective
Aduh,
too.
kenapa
So
Kufanya mati?
it's gonna be big for Smart Omega.
It actually is. Look at Lord James as well. He actually feels very safe here,
Aduh,
but
ni
could be in trouble
Omega, guys.
if Omega
Dapat
suddenly
lagi.
turns on him. And look at this.
Last lagi
Even
mana, last
Densky
lagi?
and Aqua, or sorry, Haji is joining the fray.
Oh,
Oh,
they
last
find
nak lock.
James Pass, so
Ay,
Ryzen
busa guys dapat.
being able to secure the objective for themselves. The swing or the lead has shifted into Smart Omega's hands already.
Level 4, reached in for Aqua. Trying
busa
to
dapat
find
total
the
eh.
angle right now for both of the two roamers.
Omega, Omega
See how
menang
they're
lagi
gonna
ni.
walk away so
Omega
that
menang
it
lagi
isn't
ni.
just a trade. Right now, Omega was able to find, of course, able to
Atau
find
like
one
game hari
play
guys. Season boleh pick
to
up.
build up a little bit of a lead. But you're still in the scenario
Sama
where, because you're up
last
against a
month.
lineup that has a Kufra and the Selena together, the capability of them to turn things
Yeah,
around is
just punch
strong. It's really high. But so far, with how Yoshi's been playing this show, right now he's playing as just a slightly better game than X-Nova's.
The emoji na.
Slightly better as well, but don't because of what you mentioned as well.
Oh.
Super Yoshi is also not
That's it.
safe. Usually shows to be
Oh,
very safe
kena
here.
lock pa siya.
Look at that pick.
Sama
Such
Kufra,
an aggressive feathered airstrike coming in from Haji. They get to poke James Panks low
Okay,
enough though. But At least now
So,
he's
item niya,
really
guys,
well protected by
kasut,
Super
amo.
Yoshi because those look like really dangerous
Yeah,
kind of
Yeah,
airstrikes.
They are, but I feel like at the same time, it's signature Aqua. He made a name for himself playing like this with artillery mages that feels like he just knows where you are. He's checking the right shrubs. He's reading your rotation. He's stopping you from making sequences. That's why Aqua became an MPL Philippines champion and an MSC champion in the same year.
Yeah, and if you're Haji, you just want to use that feather airstrike as soon as possible, maybe, before the hit cancels out.
Yeah.
Because you know someone's going to mess it up, or like someone is going to disrupt
Oh,
it.
chow niya
So
na.
I guess using it early on, try to get an advantage in a team fight, it's also very
Smell ako na
legit.
ibusa, guys.
So many members from AP Brent can do that, but Ryzen seems to be struggling a bit.
Smell niya kabab.
Lord James dealing a
Nice,
lot of
man.
damage
Dito
up
lang,
against
dito
this
lang.
Hayabusa. Doesn't get the
Matigay,
stun on the
smack.
of the crow. There's a feather airstrike as well, but they will not be able to take
Smack
down
dito.
this Esmeralda. And it seems like he got enough of their attention
Let's
to push them away from
yeah.
testing this objective that will
Well,
really go into the hands of AP Brent.
Yeah, he basically slowed down the farm here of Ryzen. He also
siya
was
naghamad,
able to
oh.
help
Delay
AP Brent
niya.
secure their turtle here for game number 2.
Oh, James
Oh.
Max. Haji.
Step back.
Still went back. Oh, the shadow.
Oh, good coverage there by X-Nova, but then at the same time, good senses by Ryzen to be able to dash out just in time. He almost got caught by that Kufra, so now you have to wow, Super Yoshi?
Whoa.
Sir,
Oh,
sir.
the
The
lock.
bouncing ball is such a problem.
Yeah, okay.
You gotta respect that bouncing ball, bro. You can't Shunpo out of that one.
Do not lo
That's
harit,
also going to
guys.
be one of the conditions there
Sinzaw,
for
do not
Omega.
lo
If they
harit.
see that there's no more bouncing ball on that Kufra, they are encouraged to
Oh.
commit a play. Oh, Yoshi finds an angle.
And now they commit
So,
a play
dapat
all
lang, guys.
over.
Lord Jam.
Is it
Oh,
the
sorry,
right
Mati.
decision though?
Mati, guys.
Here's the
So,
episode trap and James Pants will just pick up the kill.
Yeah, Mati, guys.
Mati barely surviving even under the turret.
Oh.
Okay, he gets to walk away.
Pasya
That
sa
looked like a
nyawa
disconnect
sa
by
itong
Omega.
pasyan,
It
guys.
looks like they
Ito.
weren't ready for Yoshi to commit that, and it seems
Gila
like
na
Yoshi
slot
committed
na
that
masuk agad.
without the other members of
So,
Omega too much in mind. Bit of a wasted kick, and even burned a flicker for
Nabulan
that
na, guys.
sequence.
Yeah, maybe he didn't
Bulan na,
shout
bulan na, guys.
you know what Cho players do when they make a play. They call the person's nickname.
To follow up.
Basta natawan eh.
Execution. That's a lot. We have the dragon. It
Oh,
lands on James
dude,
Pants.
that's
The one
Lamati.
punish
Ganun
coming in
talaga
from Smart
siya.
Omega. James here as well. They're trying to go for X-Nova this time.
Aduh,
They get to
nafsu guys,
also land the
Diyan
skills,
pa
but
sila.
Haji, he can't follow
Oh,
up.
glue
He's
lock.
being zoned by Lord
Ah,
James, but still finds the outplay.
Wow.
Haji holds on just long enough. I thought it would end up becoming an even trade, but somehow, some way, Haji holds on, and Lord JM gets punished for his greed.
Haji's like,
Blue,
you're
you
not
don't
letting me
let me.
play. I'm gonna give you something to play around. And look at that.
Oh,
Gonna be
chow
Super
na,
Yoshi
guys.
again,
Chow
keeping
mati na.
tabs on AP Bread members, making sure they can't really walk out of that turret without any consequence.
They see James Pax clearing the waves down bottom, but
Oh, tawa ba dapat siya,
Ryzen's
guys.
still picking up his purple buff, so they will be taking a bit of time before they transition into the turtle. Both teams might actually try to contest it.
Dudukwan eh.
Now, Omega
Score niya,
definitely is
2-5.
going to be ahead in terms of like division department,
Nita-
despite AP Brand having the
Sa
Selena.
ketiga, guys.
But then again, that's because of their presence in the bush. And Super Yoshi is very happy to clean out those traps whenever he can.
Okay. Ringer dapat
First
turtle,
attack the
guys.
turtle might transition to the purple buff, but they'll just play it safe. We'll focus on potentially clearing out and taking this tier 1 in mid instead. They have enough vision, you mentioned it.
Oh,
They're doing such a
pasya
great
ka na
job
lang.
at finding all those
Sa
vision.
mismatch.
But now James Pants
pasya
doing his
ka,
best
Pants.
just to defend this turret. X-Nova won't be looking for a setup just yet.
1,300 gold lead here for Omega. Good positions though around this area. They're covering for Netsky so that he can farm up top. Super Yoshi and James covering around the mid as well. So they're just trying to find a better timing for them to commit a play.
Bayan ni guys ha.
Item builds,
Kanalele ni Martin
nothing
eh.
too
Pasya.
crazy, although it is a glowing wand rush for the Farsa, going for more utility to whittle down all the regen that AP Brand has. While it's already a Sky Piercer, Malefic Roar, and even a Hunter Strike. Yoshi finds an
Chow
angle. Oh,
dapat
he gets
stun.
blocked.
Oh, she's blocked.
That's another bouncing ball incident.
Yeah.
Bouncing ball incident. That's what we're gonna call it now.
But like, even
Bentong,
though
guys,
Haji
dapat
went for
kay Kufa,
utility,
guys,
it's It's nice to see his 301.
Yeah, for sure. Haji definitely, he is maybe aiming for more KDA once more.
Oh.
You know, it is a very old namesake for Omega's Haji. And we could see that again here, as long as they play this more cleanly, which they seem to be doing, especially with Super Yoshi being so aggressive right now on that show, and making it so hard for AP Red to set anything up.
I did see Haji share his stats about him using the KDA machine, but now with the Yogi Shadow kill coming in from Ryzen, Super Yoshi doesn't get away from that. This is Zaman forces the bouncing ball all over again. It's 1 for none so far.
Again, just every time we try to call something out here, something seems to be happening.
Omega score dito guys.
AP Brand showing signs of life here still, even with Omega in the lead.
Yep.
Lot spawn, lot the spawn guys.
Omega, AP Bren.
Okay, AP Bren boleh dapat
They're
ni lot
supposed to be
spawn.
able to contest this, but I think they don't have enough damage right now to give
Lot
James
spawn
a lot
minus
of a problem once he decides to just jump in. Because there's a reason why that glue was ended up picking up last.
Pasha kena lock sama Ismail.
It didn't land.
Pasha mati,
But
Pasha
Lord
mati.
JM, he might just get the job done.
Oh, Adil
Doesn't
mati,
connect, and
nice.
that's a
Lord JM
shutdown
dapat kill,
indeed
guys.
from Lord JM onto Haji, his first death in this game.
Okay.
But Smart
Sidaw,
Omega
sidaw,
might just
lock.
try to make their way to the Lord, but X-Nova! Gets the
X-Nova,
fire
guys.
rise and uses the Tyrant Revenge as well.
dumati.
Follow-up execution is gonna be
Just
enough.
pans ka dapat
Super
bunuh yung
Yoshi
busa.
has to run away, already down to half HP. Just look at how
Ganyan
well
tak dilok,
coordinated
bro.
Lord JM and X-Nova
Kufan,
are
unlock
doing all
finger,
the
guys.
zoning
Oh, dapat.
once again.
Adi.
They find another. Still,
Nice,
Netsky
ganyan,
has
ganyan,
the
ganyan.
flicker, but might not be enough anymore to even look for a
glue
trade.
lock
But
aqua, guys.
wait,
Aqua mati.
James might actually
James.
try to do something, but
mati
will it
dah.
be enough for him to
Oh,
take
aqua
down
mati
Aqua?
dah.
It will not.
There you go,
Oh.
Lord JM back in
Ciao,
with
mati, guys.
that
Oh, the flicker,
falling
guys.
star
Super
moon,
Yoshi.
just pushes him back.
Ya, dia
Omega
berhati.
definitely did not
Pasha ke,
see
Pasha?
that coming. And now they will lose out all of that lead. And AP Brand
Wah,
gets
aduh bahaya
that
ni guys ya.
forward.
Oh, Omega, once again.
Bencana ni,
I mean,
wah.
you can't knock Haji for just trying to clear menu waves, trying to build an advantage
Oops,
there.
Selena.
I don't think Omega and Haji and James specifically just
Ni
weren't
green gate tak ada
ready
main tinggi ni.
for how many
Siapa
members
nama
of
dia?
AP
Ni-
Brand there
Niski,
would be
Niski.
ready enough to respond right away, and with again that Farsa
Ismail
out,
damage besar.
not much he could do.
Ismail damage
That push is just too
Kebal
deadly.
Ismail.
For a lineup with a
Way
Kufra,
too deadly.
you gotta be careful about where you decide to walk into, especially if you're
Kaya,
Ryzen, especially if
Happy
you're the
Brand
jungler,
dapat
the retry
dua
holder,
tawa
right
guys, ya.
before the objective
Jangan
comes up. So now we're seeing just what the Kufra is able to bring
Oh,
to the
tawa,
table.
tawa,
Yeah,
tawa.
play after
Nice.
play after play. It's like X-Nova
Nice
just
play,
does
nice
not
play.
want to
Happy
slow
play,
down
nice.
here on this Kufra, and he's charging it up again.
Lock, lock. Lock
Might not
ni
be
ya.
able to land it for
Siapa
now.
Pasha,
Those Smart
Pasha,
Omega
guys.
are playing it safe.
Look at the mid.
Staying under the turrets.
Evin dapat tawa guys,
Kill
tawa
already
mid.
used.
Wah, ni Happy
And
Brand menang
Ryzen
ni, guys.
fortunately gets to quad shadow out.
Tawa
There
atas,
will
tawa
be
atas.
no base turrets taken down for now, but despite everything that's happening, it's
Santai,
interesting to see that
santai.
AP Brand still, or just only up by less
Jangan
than
lock
1,000
dulu.
gold.
Keluarnya kebal.
Yeah, so very close. Oh, slip up in execution. Now this is where we're gonna see what we were talking about earlier.
Ma'am,
How
kalau
all
Happy
it's
Brand
gonna
menang,
take
tamat
is just
ke
one
live stream,
slip
eh.
up, near perfect execution
Mungkin
to make it
atau, eh.
work. Great trade there in the
Brand
middle by
menang,
James Bounce and
tamat
Ryzen.
dia.
Ryzen threw out the
Kalau
shadow
Omega
kill, but
menang,
James Bounce just used the Thorned Rose iframe so that it
Okay,
cancels the
dua,
animation. Lord
Jauhnya
JM,
nak lock.
Gets to find the stun, but he's only
Aduh,
brought down
tak
to
lock,
a bit less than half HP.
Ismailnya
Still
kebal
able to
ni,
do his
Lord
job
JM.
nonetheless, and we can't take
Ismail
away the
dah
fact that
kebal,
Smart
boy.
Omega, it seems like they have to bring out so much just to bring Lord JM's HP down to half.
Ni dah minit 12 ya.
But we are seeing a
12,
bit of a
30.
sliver as well of like Netsky starting
Okay,
to
there's
ramp
a
up on
item.
damage.
Yeah.
Glunya
It's
mah
like
item
getting
thing,
harder
guys.
and harder for Lord GM as the
Selena
Esmeralda
ba
to
item
stay
thing?
in the fight. Haji obviously
Oh,
already
smash,
hurts as
smash,
well.
smash.
So it's going to take a while for them to actually just get
Oh,
Lord
fine,
GM back into
item
an
thing,
unkillable status. Right now they have to be just on their toes.
Kalinya
He's
item
actually
dah jadi ni ya.
Of,
Sampai dah
Shizo.
serang.
Hugely, yeah.
In terms of gold, only lacking
Shizo,
one more
tapi
item to
comeback,
complete
eh.
his
Dia
build.
tak ada mati je.
But the
Sama
upcoming
Twinger.
Lord is going to be the question here. Vision and map control is clearly favoring AP Brent's side. And Lord JM just picked
Oh,
up the antique
Kufa na
Kiras,
stun.
just as he mentioned
Ah,
that
there you go.
Smart Omega might already have a bit more decent damage to
Lock
deal with
spawn
him.
guys. Lock
Snowball
yang
making
kedua.
every bush just so scary to
Minute
check
13.
for Omega. That's
Yeah.
a big play. Or that's a big plus that they have in that
Kalau Omega
department.
dapat lot.
Yeah, we're coming into the department here of the
comeback
next
niya,
Lord, which is going
Omega
to be
ni.
very deadly. Historically, this should
Chow pakai
finish fights.
invisible, okay? Chow nak lock siapa ni?
Nova still in control.
Kanto guys.
Yoshi concealed, but he stepped on a trap. Great trap placements
Wala
by
na pasok
Aqua
na.
so far, and now Omega, they might not be able to contest this healthily.
Not anymore.
Now with Lord JM up
Nala,
on
sarap.
front.
Rice is going to be close enough.
Dapat lot.
James getting a lot of vision. Good
Jam
zone out.
pas ka ni boleh.
Oh, someone's going to have to pull the trigger on the side of Omega to try and force AP Brent down low. James Vance is taking a lot of damage from the Lord.
Neski
Yeah.
went for the clear.
Tak boleh
They
blame
know
ni,
that
apa?
he's just about to
Fighting
approach the
Nova.
Lord, but instead they target
Oh,
X-Nova
Pasha,
instead. Salad
Pasha,
also
Pasha.
coming in from Shizo, but Super Yoshi, will he be able to
Oh, James
survive
tak
this?
mati
James
lagi,
also
guys.
flickering out just to get
Ryzen!
Ay, busa, Ryzen.
But the damage from Ryzen doesn't seem to
Oh,
be
kung
enough.
wala pa
He
stun
gets
ticker.
caught by the Tyrant's Revenge.
Oh,
Now
dahil
he
busa
will be the
mati.
first to fall. Not a good
Ryzen mati,
sign for
guys.
Smart Omega.
X-Nova! His debut game in MPL Philippines.
Kaya bahaya
And
ni
he has been
S-Nova kay Kuplada.
impressive. Excuse me, not debut game, debut series. He conserved the flicker. He held on to
Dia
that.
pakai
And
flicker.
James Banks and AP
Basta,
Brent get the
basta.
Lord without a
Nice.
problem.
And if there was any hero that you want to
Basta
conserve that
dapat lang,
flicker
guys.
bouncing ball for, it is going to be that Hayabusa. It was spot on. It was that Tyrant's Rage, the extended Tyrant's Revenge
Yeah.
from downtown into the bouncing ball, and there was just no way that
Brent,
Ryzen
boleh
could
ni
get
lang.
out.
Yeah, and I love how
Boleh.
X-Nova built into this. He rushed to immortality because he knew that he would be at most
Malayan
at
ka
risk
nagalaw.
with everything that gets thrown at AP Brent.
Pero,
Yeah, and that wasn't a typical
Shizo
call
mati ka,
to
pag nalock.
go for the set on the roamer of Smart Omega, but it was perfect for AP
Santai,
Brent because
santai.
once they were able to
Tunggu lot.
poke Super
Masuk ni.
Yoshi and bring him down to a very low amount of HP, then every single member in Smart Omega, it seems like they felt a lot more hesitant to try and go for the
Check,
contest.
masuk.
So now they're just
Aduh,
forced to
mati
work
bro.
on the defense. Fortunately, they will have enough resources to clear out the incoming
Sayang
waves,
sekali
but
lot mati.
AP Brent, they're just adapting so well.
Yeah,
Omega
there's just so
defense,
much
yes,
damage
Omega.
coming out from Shizo, and he also has a healthy amount of sustainability through the shields he's making for himself, that even though Omega isn't that far behind in the deficit, actually at this point, at closing in at 16 minutes,
Tidak
a
minit
3,500 gold lead,
Tidak
still
minit
means that
16.
Omega has the right items to actually turn it around.
No,
It's still a
Omega.
very close game. It's based on the execution.
Epic
But the
comeback
raw
ba yun, eh?
firepower that they have, AP Bren, it's just too much that the damage profile of Omega is like little chunks, clean up by the Hayabusa, clean up by the
Let's
Farsa, clean
comment
up by the
down,
Granger.
comment.
But AP Bren could just, similar to the game number one,
Madam
throw
Chow.
bodies, throw
Haji
damage, and then any formation that Omega wants to do is just bust it down immediately. Is it impossible for them to make a comeback? Not at all. But it's so much easier right now for AP Bren to hold this than it is for Omega to make a comeback.
Yeah, and it's also very hard for them to actually make any mistakes because it's so hard to make mistakes
Don't have this
if you're
Skype,
like
please,
just an Esmeralda in front. Like
Yeah.
the worst mistake you could probably do is like maybe a falling
Better
star
to
mode or a
serve.
really bad angle. But either way, you are still in front.
Skype
You're
is
doing
ang
your
item
job.
mo na biru
And that's
ba?
why it's so foolproof. Aqua has been hitting hits non-stop as well, just not making the mark all the time, but also just making it so hard for Omega to set anything up. And all these bushes just cannot be camped by Omega at all.
Yeah, I mean, even earlier when Super Yoshi unfortunately stepped on a trap, there was Lord JM scouting the area as well. So regardless, even if Super Yoshi was able to find his way to AP Bren and their members, there would be a Falling Star Moon coming in from Lord JM to potentially intercept and block the other members of Smart Omega just the same. And even beyond that, this has been a very low-scoring game. It just goes to show the amount of sustain and just how careful these two teams have been playing it out.
Should also help out Omega and Neski, the fact that he was already able to last build the Rose Gold Meteor, that he can go a little bit more forward in terms of trying to deal more damage to Shizo. But again, it's going to be a difficult target to take down, that Harith. Bloodwings locked in for the last item, already has Holy Crystal full build. X-Nova just built up an Athena shield as well, so the burst damage that the Farsa can dish out is going to be more manageable. So then now, for Omega, there's so many angle of attacks you have to look for. Okay, you decide to focus fire on one, suddenly you have to watch out for X-Nova coming in with the Tyrant's Revenge and Rage combo.
And there he
Right on
goes
cue.
in.
Wow, okay.
Right on cue. One member down for Smart Omega. They might not contest this anymore, and they won't.
Yeah, that's a big -1 here for James. He thought he was going to be unkillable in that last one, but no, one combo actually took down this glue, and that is not a good sign for Omega.
I'm also reminded of what it was like when it was just Kufra and Choke constantly as the trade in the roam, where it always just, whoever makes it to the shrub first essentially just wins the trade already.
Yeah, just control that all day long.
Yeah, because you're two pick-off style roamers that whoever gets to the spot that they want to get to first means that there's a higher chance that they're the ones who are setting up better. And in that scenario, I think James could have let that go if he was going to stick that close to get vision. He could have had someone else there with him to help cover. I feel like that was an unnecessary death for that glue.
Yeah, he didn't even get the chance to use the split, I think, right? To dodge some of the damage out.
Big ring niya belum ada mati, guys.
Problem here, at least for now. James is back on the field alongside the Lord, though. It's going to be a big fight.
Kaya bencana. Wow.
Position themselves any further, knowing that X-Nova could go in. Now this could be a setup by execution right into Haji, though. It lands onto Super Yoshi. That's Harris revenge, but from the back lines, Ryzen will try to look for a target, but they get to spread out the damage so well.
With a big stun
from
X-Nova!
Snowball! Kufra!
Onto two members! Two crucial members! Netsky's the first to fall and nothing else matters for them! AB Bren secure their first win!
Happy Bren menang, guys! First tournament!
Definitely one way to show up in your first season. X-Nova!
Okay guys, big tapukan guys! Philippines!
Tyrant's Rage into the base.
Juara MPL,
remember the name and remember the games. X-Nova has put himself on the map. Mamba-esque against Omega.
That's exactly what you just want to do. Going up like that, it will put you in high pressure. That was fun to watch.
That was a flash.
That's why
it's been so long since we've seen such flashy plays happen here and there because of the metas that's been going on, but this is just so exciting to see, especially from this new version of AP Bren. But still, Smart Omega, there's something with them at game number 3.
Just when you thought that Omega would be on a hot streak after winning their first series of the season, they dropped that. But it was an impressive showing overall, but it is the moment of AP Bren.
As AP Bren, we're going to be hearing from them live on stage alongside Hans and Odin. Definitely want to hear from these teams. First game, first win. We're going to hear from them in just a few moments. Look at that very familiar face right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And we are going to definitely... Oh, come on. He's the namesake. Here's the host.
First series, first victory. Here are your winners, AP Bren! Ibang klase. This was a totally different experience from last season. And that game 3 was led by none other than X-Nova. You have to give it to this roamer right here, Odin.
Grabe ang performance mo, X-Nova. This is your debut match. Congratulations, first of all, for making it here sa MPL Philippines. Alam mo, Nova, naaalala ko nung MDL times mo, medyo nalungkot kami nung magpapahinga ka from RQ Kaito because that was such a dream team na nakita namin before. And natanong kita noon, sabi ko, bakit ka magpapahinga? Ang sinabi mo sa akin, MPL na po yung dream ko, madam. And now that you're here, ano yung nararamdaman mo dito sa harap ng lahat ng MPL fans?
Masaya.
Ang haba ng tanong ko, pero masaya. Obviously. Nakaramdam ka ba ng kaba na ito yung first match mo?
Siguro yung una. Pero yung sinabi kasi ni Coach na sa akin na may iba't ibang kaba na kunyari excited.
Okay guys, tataw guys, check up
Excited siguro. Yung kaba na
mungkin dekata kita dapat yung terbaik.
You know, I want to know more X-Nova kasi probably later on sa mga susunod na makikita nating laban, posible mong maalaban si Ferds, yung dati mong teammate. I'm sure he's gonna be watching this. Anong mensahe mo para kay Ferds pag nagharap kayo in the future?
Good luck sa amin. Galingan na lang namin.
Right, and you really did an amazing job for this series alone. James Banks, ikaw ang susunod ko ngayon, pare, because this was a completely different AP blend dun sa nakita namin from last season. You had your victories, I think around week 3 pa, di ba? Yun yung una nyo last season. What's the difference of this team now compared to season 15? Mas matapang ba? Ano bang iba sa AP brand ngayon?
Yun nga, mas matapang kasi medyo nawala na yung pressure sa amin eh. Ini-enjoy na lang namin yung laro eh. Kaya, yun. Ginagawa namin tapang na may utak na lang eh.
Nagiginya sa mukha sa basibo.
You know, I want to know more about that as well. Kasi Odin, there was an interview on you na parang sinabi mo na medyo pinangunahan kayo ng kaba last season. Pinangunahan kayo ng, you know, hindi naman takot. Pero sinasabi mo sa akin dati na naaurahan kayo. Did that change for season 16 now na nandito ka ulit?
Opo. Nawala na yung ganong pakiramdam. Tsaka di na ako naaurahan sa mga kalaban eh. Iniisip ko na lang nag-RG ako para mas madali akong makapokus tsaka yun. Hindi ko na sila iniisip.
Hindi mo na sila iniisip. RG mindset. Diba? That's usually how you get victories. Lalo na, pag yung leader nyo ba naman ay ang nagbabalik na si Aqua.
Ayan!
Welcome back!
Welcome back!
Nananahimik lang siya doon, Hans, no? Aqua, welcome back to MPL Philippines.
Aqua.
How does it feel na ibang team na yung sinasamahan mo ngayon?
Aqua niyo pamela mo ya. Happy Brand.
Pareho kayo ng sagot, ha? Sino nag-train sa inyo dalawa? Coach, kayo mo nagturo dyan.
Hindi, ano lang yan. Yun na lang yung one word lang talaga sila.
One word ka lang pala, Aqua, pero one word para sa mga sumunod sa iyong players bilang ikaw yung sophomore.
Alam ko na eh. Aqua, explain in one word itong series
na.
Basa
mo to, basa Philippine.
Diba?
Solid.
Solid. And that is how we're gonna leave it at that. Aqua, eto hindi pwedeng one word to ha. Kasi oras mo na para pasalamatan lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa AP Brand.
Maraming salamat sa mga nanonood and sa family ko and sa jowa ko.
Guys, dapat tayo ba sa Philippine guys? Kasi na
There we finally have it. Maraming salamat kay Aqua. And of course, our winners, AP Brand! Congratulations. The Bees have taken their first victory dito sa Season 16.
That was a solid game na napanood natin para sa kanila. And this was actually their first match. Napakagandang debut match for them. And with that, let's throw it back to our casters.
There you go. Of course, a little bit of a warm-up maybe on the interviews, but definitely had a great game there. That is AP Brand with their first victory. They're 1-0 in the season.
Imagine how long they waited for last season to get that. And now they get it in their first match, in their debut match. So it's so refreshing to see.
Yeah, and I like how we got to see more into the mentality of James Banks. He said there at one point in this interview, he's just thinking as if he's playing his ranked game so that he wouldn't be scared. He doesn't care about who he's fighting anymore. He doesn't care who's on the other side. And you know what? X-Nova also playing as if not even just reckless abandon. A lot of the things that he committed were incredibly calculated. A 126 KDA doesn't sound impressive on paper, yes, but you have to watch what he did on the map and in the game to shut down Omega, especially Super Yoshi with the bouncing ball incidents that we saw multiple times.
And context matters as well because this was a very low kill score game, right? So that's actually very high kill.
Okay guys, aku tamatkan dulu live stream. Kalau ada peluang lagi buat video pasal tournament Mobile Legends kita buat lagi ya. Okay, jangan lupa subscribe dan like my video. Bye bye. Ni ada TikTok jangan lupa follow. Ada kita buatlah konten Roblox atau ML, okay? Bye bye. Aduh.